Hello,
Hey everyone.
everyone. I'm Mariam
Great.
Namazi,
And I'm
and I'm
Vidu
here.
Vidu.
Yeah, it's obvious I have no idea what to do. So we're here to start an online protest, a 3-hour protest in support of an Iranian political prisoner who was initially sentenced to death because of so-called blasphemous posts on Facebook. His sentence was then reduced to 7 years, and then because he's continued to speak out despite the immense torture he's faced, his sentence, there's been an added sentence given to him for another 3.5 years. So he's on hunger strike right now since the 4th of April. His name is Soheil Arabi, and we wanted to bring people together today to defend him, to speak on his behalf, to defend the right to blasphemy and freedom of conscience and expression. So we've got lots of people here, videos, statements that people have sent out, and of course, those of you who are joining us live, we're welcome to you, and we look forward to also seeing your messages of solidarity and support. So shall I go to you now, Vidu, and then maybe after that we can also bring in Shaheen Mohammadi, who's co-hosting this event with us, to say a few words before we go into inviting various guests and speakers to come on with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mariam. I really appreciate you having me on this. And just like you said, earlier, this is such a one of those crimes that are victimless crimes. Blasphemy. These are things which people, unfortunately, in some parts of the world, like you mentioned, in Iran, in Pakistan as well, where people are being sentenced to death or put in prison. And really, their whole family suffer as well, along with them, for asking the wrong questions, for saying the wrong things. And we're all here to support Soheil and other people's like him. I myself make YouTube videos where I, poke fun at religious conservatives. I sort of make jokes of these things, and we do so with actually great sort of ease in this country. And it's very unfortunate that other people across the world can't do the same thing, and people are being put to sentenced to prison and much worse for Facebook posts. I mean, this is really and truly amazing that we have all this technology and progress, but some parts of the world unfortunately are still living in the Stone Ages, mentally speaking. So hopefully this live stream and others like it can raise awareness, even though we are in this time of corona. We can't physically be there, but virtually we show our support. So I would like to add to the live stream Shaheen, who could introduce himself. Shaheen, thank you for joining. Shaheen,
yeah.
Can you hear us?
Hey.
Hi. Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Hi,
I'm Shaheen.
Introduce yourself. Yes.
Yeah, I'm Shaheen. I'm journalist and activist, atheist activist right now, and I just wanted to talk about Soheil Arabi's situation. Actually, Soheil is an atheist, and he was arrested about 7 years ago because of insulting Prophet Muhammad, and they just at the first place they sentenced him to death, and after some protests we could change it to 7.5 years imprisonment. And after that the Islamic regime just tried to torture him for a long time. They just tortured him for a long time, and he was like he just got trauma blunt in his balls. Actually, it means that they just kicked him in his balls, and he just one of his balls just got ruined, kind of, and he got trauma blunt. And after a couple of times that he was in, he has done hunger strikes for lots of times to save other political prisoners, which are right now in prison still. And the last time that he went on hunger strike, it was because of the bad situation that was in Fashofuye prison, actually in Tehran. And right now that I'm talking to you, the intelligence service of IRGC, Islamic regime's Sepah, they arrested him because he just sent some articles about the situation in prison, and right now they got him on arrest, and he's right. He went to a kind of place that he's going to be investigated, and he has to be there for 21 days. And right now he's in hunger strike. He's about 13 or 14 days of hunger strike, and right now they're torturing him, and we have no idea where they took him right now. He's not even in prison right now, and we just wanted to talk about him and just try to help him, because he doesn't deserve to be in prison anymore. And he has been there for 7 years, and they just sentenced him to 3 years and 8 months more. And it means, and 3 and 8 months more. And at the same time, he has to go to, he has to be in exile for 2 years. He's forbidden of going out of Iran for 2 years. And this is like chaos, actually. I hope we can do something for him. And yeah.
Yeah, if I can, so just to be very clear about what Shaheen was saying, is that in addition to the fact that he is in prison now, he has been taken to another location now for further interrogation. He's on hunger strike. He needs urgent medical care. So, of course, there's a huge urgency to why we're having this online protest. And while his initial sentencing is over and he should be free, they've added on an additional 3+ years because, of course, he's been protesting. And it's extremely brave of him. He signs his letters as an atheist. He speaks out against the injustices he's been facing, against torture, against the horrible prison conditions in Iranian prisons, in defense of political prisoners. And so obviously he's under extreme amounts of pressure. His mother's been arrested, his wife's forced to divorce him. There's all this pressure that's taking place. Of course, he's one of many who are in prison in Iran and throughout the world for blasphemy. And of course, as we know, blasphemy is just a matter of opinion. You know, it's what you think, it's what you believe, it's how you express your beliefs. So it's basically making it a crime to think and speak as you choose, you know, because you decide to criticize what's considered sacred by some. And I think, you know, so this highlights this added sort of criminalization of thought and speech. Of course, there are 25% of the countries in the world have blasphemy laws, but only Islamic states punish blasphemy with the death penalty. And I think, you know, that's an added pressure on people who are in prison in places like Iran and Pakistan and so on. So we have lots of messages to reach you, video messages, which we're trying to get going and to make sure that you'll be able to see them. But also we have some other people waiting in this room now with us who'd like to speak. And I think one of them is Rishvin Ismat, and he is the founder of the Council of Ex-Muslims of Sri Lanka. He's someone who's actually been on the death list of ISIS. They tried to assassinate him twice. So he's someone who knows very well what blasphemy laws mean and its effects on people's lives. And we're really happy to have you here with us, Rishvin.
Thank you, Mariam. I hope you can all hear me. Okay. It's really sad situation what Shaheen said about Soheil Arabi. Was listening to his speech about him, and at the same time, I thank you all for coming to this live program to protest, because we are unable to do the protest in physical. So at least we can use this platform to raise our voices on support of him. So I was one of them that you said, and I am for the information, I am not even living in a Muslim majority country. Even in the country where I am living and where I was born, the percentage of Muslim is somewhere around 10%. But by law or by taking the law or by the government, they try to do the same thing. So in the history, there are a lot of religions Maybe some other religions also practice these things if we go to the histories. But today, in this day, Islam is the only religion, or the Muslims who are motivated by Islam is carrying out such a things. When there are law, the governments take care of the matters, and they punish the people, arrest the people. Countries like Saudi Arabia, even in Egypt, we know that there are a lot of people got stuck in Egypt. They cannot come out of the country. They are free thinkers, atheists, and ex-Muslims. And in Pakistan, where the people take the law into their hand, like Mashal Khan, we know what happened to him for allegedly publishing some material supposed to be blasphemous. So the people took the law into their hand. If the people, if you escape from the people, then the government is there to look after you. So there are two kind of setups. So there's no escape for these people. Even Muslim minority countries like the India, one of the biggest democratic country next to my country, but there was also the same thing happened, and we all know that we lost one of our ex-Muslim activists in 2017 for just expressing his views. He didn't harm anybody, just like Viduvid said in his introduction. First, the harmless expression, that it is portrayed as a crime, and those who express their ideas, views, or disagreement with something is being punished very severely and being killed. And this is supported by the law. When there's a small criticism about Islam happens in the West, the liberal left, or the people, the media coming and calling it Islamophobia and try to stop it. But when people say this one in Islamic countries and they are being put behind the bars under torture, but there's not much attraction. Even the media might have forgotten about Raif al-Badawi in Saudi Arabia. This is only one name. There are a lot, and even women, for just trying to drive a car in the streets, being put behind the bar. So this is all happening in Islamic country, and where the Muslims are following Islam. So this is the problem, something with Islam. So we have to address it with its original root.
Thank you. We really appreciate your coming here and taking the time to defend Soheil Arabi. Solidarity to you, and we look forward to working together for many more years to come on these issues and others. We now have Savalan Qudsi, and he is one of the founders of the Council of Ex-Muslims of the Netherlands. And I think also feel comfortable to speak in English and Farsi, or either. Shaheen, maybe after Savalan, we can have you also speak a bit in Farsi and explain what this is all about. به نظرم خیلی مهمه که به زبان فارسی هم بتونیم صحبت کنیم. دوستانی که فارسی زبان هستن بتونن پیامای خودشون رو اینجا بگن در دفاع از سهیل عربی و در دفاع از زندانیان سیاسی که تو ایران هستن و کسایی که به خاطر کفگویی و ارتداد الان زندگیشون در خطره. یکی از اون افراد خب سهیل عربیه و ما واقعا نگران وضعیتش هستیم و به همین خاطرم این اعتراض آنلاین رو داریم سازمان میدیم. بفرمایید سوالان عزیز، شما صحبت کنید.
Hello everyone, I'm gonna talk in English first. Thank you everyone for watching us and joining us for this online protest. I'm Savalan, and it's really sad and terrible to see that someone has to do such a protest to get a hunger strike to just earn his freedom. This month, April, was really sad month for us because at 3rd April, I just heard that another woman from Turkey just died from hunger strike. It was actually death strike. And one day after that, we heard that Soheil Arabi started his hunger strike. The woman's name was Helen Bullock, by the way. But despite all of these terrors of Islamic regimes, we see that the number of freedom thinkers or ex-Muslims are rising, and we are getting more and more followers or leaders in this kind of organizations. and I know that one day we will succeed, and let's not lose hope for this. I prepared a short video. Sorry that it's not so good. It doesn't have so good quality because the lack of equipment in this quarantine COVID-19 days. But it was supposed to be a part of a theater show, which we were going to play, but because of this quarantine, it got cancelled. I'm gonna explain it a little bit. It's a percussion called djembe. I play it, and in the background you might hear some voices of talking or speeches. It's a mix of different speeches of dictators around the world. I used like 5 or 6 of them, present dictators, the ones that are still on power. I would like to name a few of them. Just to be clear, one of them is Erdogan in Turkey, which is Islamic. He's been on power since 2003 and 17 years. The other one is Khamenei, supreme leader of Iran, which is on the power since 1989. The third one is Ilham Aliyev. He's from Azerbaijan, and he's also on power since 2003. They call them, some of them are calling themselves president, and they call like, yeah, we got elected, but they are in power for 20 years, 30 years, or even more. It's really horrible to say that people have to endure this kind of people. The fourth one is Kim Jong, which, you know, supreme leader of North Korea. And the fifth one is Yoweri Museveni from Uganda. There are so many more, but I didn't use all of them. I didn't have the equipment. So I invite you to watch the video. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Savalan. We look forward to it, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Okay, well, our lovely video visits is trying to get that performance by Savalan up and running. In the meanwhile, I can read you a message that we've got from filmmaker Dia Khan to Soheil. This message goes to Soheil and all the other brave people campaigning for freedom of belief and expression from me and all at Fuse. Soheil, we support you. And we deplore the violence perpetrated against you. We admire your courage and your determination against the Iranian regime. We won't let your struggle go unnoticed. We won't allow your message to be silenced. We call on everyone to join the campaign for freedom of Soheil. And I think now that was from Dia Khan, the filmmaker, and I think the video is now ready, Savalan's video performance for Soheil. Wonderful. That was really wonderful. Thank you, Savalon. That was excellent. And thank you, everyone, for your comments, your live comments. It's really good to hear from you. We will link the videos later on. We'll make all of those available for you at the end of this live broadcast. Thanks again to Savalon. I think now maybe Shaheen, would you like to come up and introduce our next guest who's here and will be speaking with us?
I would like to. Sorry, I had a mixed up in my internet. I couldn't hear you well, Mariam Jan. But I just wanted to talk in Persian and give a little bit information about Soheil in Persian. من میخواستم الان درباره سهیل صحبت بکنم. سهیل عربی زندانی سیاسی و فعال هست که تلاش ها و مقاومت هایی که انجام شد، حکم اعدام سهیل تغییر کرد به 7.5 سال زندان، 2 سال تحقیقات مذهبی، 2 سال ممنوعیت خروج از کشور و بعد از اون در واقع خب به خاطر بارها فشاری که روی زندانیان سیاسی آوردن مسئولین زندانها و جمهوری اسلامی، سهیل به اعتصاب غذا دست زد. بارها برای انواع و اقسام زندانیان سیاسی در واقع دست به اعتصاب غذاهای طولانی مدت زد و الان و خب توی این تمام مدت این 7 سال سهیل هیچ گونه اجازه مرخصی و ملاقات بچه و خانواده‌اش رو نداره. سهیل یادآور بشم سهیل یه دختر بچه ببینه، خب نه دختر بچهش میتونه وارد زندان بشه به خاطر حالات دلایل امنیتی که هست و به خاطر شرایط سنی که داره و خب به سهیل هم مرخصی ندادن. بارها سهیل رو آزار دادن، بارها سهیل رو شکنجه کردن، سهیل رو به قرارگاه سارالله بردن بارها و در قرارگاه سارالله شکنجهش کردن که این شکنجه اونها باعث شد که سهیل به بیماری ترومای بلانت مبتلا بشه. ترومای بلانت یعنی له شدگی یک عضو از بدن و خب سهیل بیضه چپش این بلا سرش اومد و خب بارها این شکنجه ها خلاصه نشد. شکنجه های بازجوها به این چیزا خلاصه نشد. این بازجوها در کنار این شکنجه ها مأمورین در زندان ها یک سری افرادی رو دارن که خب کارشون یک سری زندانیان و یک سری مجرمین در واقع که کارشون فروش مواد هست. مأموران زندانیان معمولا از این افراد به عنوان وکیل بند یعنی یا مسئول زندان استفاده میکنن که این افراد معمولا دست راست و در واقع کمک کننده مزدوران جمهوری اسلامی هستن، مأموران جمهوری اسلامی هستن. بارها سهیل رو بینیش رو شکستن، در خواب با مشت به بینی سهیل کوبیدن، بینی سهیل رو شکستن به خاطر اینکه میخواستن از سهیل اعتراف اجباری بگیرن و سهیل زیر بار نمیرفت و خب یک بارش هم دقیقاً این بلا سرش اومد که تو خواب بود و با مشت به بینیش کوبیدن و خیلی راحت اون کسی که این کارو کرد فرار کرد و خب همه اینها به خاطر این بود که از سهیل اعترافات اجباری بگیرن و دلیل دیگهش این بود که سهیل به عنوان یک خبرنگار سعی می‌کرد از شرایط زندان برای مردم بگه و مردم از شرایط و وضعیت اسفناک زندان با خبر بشن. به خاطر اینکه زندان‌های جمهوری اسلامی در واقع مکانی شده برای فروش مواد و مکانی شده برای جنایت‌های خود جمهوری اسلامی که در واقع خود جمهوری اسلامی هدفش این هست که این بلا رو سر زندانیان و مخصوصا سیاسیون بیاره و اونها رو مبتلا بکنه یا بهشون فشار بیاره و خب مجبورشون کنه به اعترافات اجباری، خودکشی‌های در واقع اجباری یا حالا مسائل از این قبیل. سهیل بار آخری که به اعتصاب غذا دست زد به دلیل اینکه شرایط زندان الان اسفناک هست، یعنی اسفبار هست و ویروس کرونا وارد زندان شده و خیلی از زندانیان مبتلا شدن. سهیل این کارو کرد به خاطر اینکه بگه که زندانیان سیاسی رو باید آزاد بکنید یا به مرخصی بفرستید. زندانیان سیاسی در واقع حقشون نیست که تو این شرایط تو زندان‌ها باشن و دچار این بیماری بشن. این یکی از دلایلش بود. و دلایل دیگه‌اش ظلم مضاعفی بود که به سهیل شده. ظلم مضاعفی که به سهیل شده چی هست؟ این هست که سهیل رو به دلیل مقاومت در مقابل افسران، مقاومت در مقابل بازجوها و در واقع آگاهی رسانی از شرایط زندان به 2 سال زندان محکوم کردن. و یک بار دیگهش هم به خاطر اینکه سهیل در اثر حمله مزدوران جمهوری اسلامی از خودش دفاع کرد، تلویزیون بازداشتگاه آسیب میبینه و از جمهوری اسلامی به خاطر آسیب دیدن این تلویزیونی که بارها به زندانیان فروخته شده بود و هزینه‌اش گرفته شده بود، به خاطر شکست شدن این تلویزیون سهیل رو به 1 سال و 8 ماه زندان محکوم کردن. که الان سهیل با وعده مددیاری که تو زندان بود بار اول اعتصاب غذاش رو میشکنه که به مدت مجددا، البته دست بعد از 9 روز که میبینه به وعده هاشون عمل نمیکنن، مجددا دست به اعتصاب غذا میزنه، دست به اعتصاب غذای خشک میزنه. به مدت 5-6 روز هیچ گونه آبی نمینوشه، هیچ گونه غذایی نمیخوره و بعد از این مدت مجددا با وعده مسئولین و مددیاران زندان مجددا دست به اعتصاب غذای خشکش رو تبدیل میکنه به اعتصاب غذای تر و آب مینوشه، جرعه آب مینوشه که همون رو هم به خاطر چسبندگی معده‌ای که داره و شرایط وخیمی به خاطر اعتصاب غذاهای طولانی مدت، همون آب رو هم نمیتونه درست بنوشه و خب متاسفانه بالا میاره.
اوکی، ببخشید شاهین جان، ممنون. من فکر کنم یه خورده بذاریم مهمونای دیگه‌مون بیان یه خورده انگلیسی هم حرف بزنیم بعد دوباره برگردیم بیشتر روی این موضوع صحبت کنیم اگه اجازه بدی، اشکال نداشته باشه. Thank you all for those of you who didn't speak Persian, who don't speak Persian. Shaheen was explaining the situation of Soheil Arabi, his condition in prison, and the types of activism that he's done. We'd like to now invite another guest of ours who's in the studio. She's a YouTuber, Faye Rahman. We'd like to have her come up and speak on this issue. Welcome, Faye, and thank you for being with us.
Hi, thank you for having me. In terms of the issue, I mean, there's very little that I can say. I think that I'm quite new to this movement anyway. But last year we did quite a few demonstrations for Soheil Arabi. We did a protest outside of the Iranian embassy through Atheist Republic while Arman Navabi was in the country. And I remember sitting in a cafe and listening to Ali Malik tell me about all of the different punishments that people around the world were going through for blasphemy, and it really is something that I cannot comprehend. Free thought is such a simple thing to want as a human being. It's such a small thing to want, and I think it's the foundation on which we build ourselves and we build our own personalities and identities. And to not have that in a world and also be afraid to reveal that to the world, I think is a very, very scary reality. I'm still kind of shell-shocked that Soheil Arabi is imprisoned, being tortured on and off death row for over 7 years for a Facebook post. It blows my mind that that is something that the wider community around the world isn't talking about, because I feel as though if something like that happened here in the UK or in the US or somewhere, you know, westernized and liberal and things like that, we would not hear the end of it. And we would fight for that person to be out of prison. They should not be there simply for what they believe. But I find that whenever I talk about Soheil Arabi to outsiders from this movement, so anyone who isn't an ex-Muslim or, you know, isn't part of this circle, they kind of go, well, he should have known better. He was in Iran. But it's just, it just seems like this desensitization to this awful reality that so many people face in other countries. And I think for a long time myself, I was against blasphemy. I didn't really see the point of it. I didn't really understand why people partook in it. But after hearing how many people are subjected to, not only prison and death, but also this trial by community where the mob will get you either way, it really opened my eyes to, we need to hold our voices for these people, and it is not our place to look down at these people for blaspheming, because they are really fighting for free speech in their countries and free speech for their people. And while I deeply, deeply respect this man's effort to, as a prisoner of conscience and as an atheist and as someone who is challenging the societal norms of the country that he's living in, I am really, really worried that something horrible will happen to him, as has been happening to him for 7 years. And I just wanted to come here and do my part and say that we support you and we see what you're doing and your efforts are not lost on us. So yeah, thank you, Mariam.
Great. Thank you so much, Faye, for being here and giving us your message. We really appreciate it. We also have others who are waiting to speak. One of them is Shakila Salimi. She's an Iranian atheist. She's going to be speaking in Persian. Shakila Jan, میخوای الان بیای روی صحنه. Thank you all for your messages as well. Keep them coming and keep watching. We've got lots more messages to come. بفرمایید شکیلا جان.
سلام، صدای من میاد؟
بله بله.
من یه لحظه دوربین رو برگردونم. نمیدونم چرا دوربین بر نمیگرده.
فکر کنم یه برنامه دیگه هم روشن صداش داره میاد از اونجا، بعد اونم خاموش کنین. دوربین خب میتونین برگردونین به خودتون که بشه استفاده کرد.
پیداش کردم دوربینشو.
بفرمایید.
فکر کنم الان درست شد. یه لحظه بعد. سلام عرض میکنم خدمت همه. خیلی ممنون که وقت گذاشتید اومدید و توی این آکسیوم شرکت کردید. من هم یک آتئیست هستم و خودم رو یه فعال آتئیست میدونم که عقایدم واسم خیلی مهمه و براش میجنگم. مسئله سهیل عربی خب چند نکته‌ای هستش که من دوستم راجبش بگم. یکی این که خب ما باید تمام تلاشمون رو بکنیم که سهیل عربی اتفاقی براش نیفته و نجات پیدا کنه. این خیلی مسئله مهمیه، نه فقط صرفا به خاطر جان سهیل که خب جونش خیلی مهمه، ولی خب این مسئله میتونه یکی از شکست‌های جمهوری اسلامی باشه که به فهم اتحاد همه ماها میتونه جلوی کشتارای وحشیانه اونو به خاطر آتئیست شدن کسی بگیره. و اینکه سهیل یکی از دلایل دیگه‌ای که به نظر من خیلی مهمه که بخوایم هر طور شده بهش کمک کنیم، یعنی هر کس با هر عقیده‌ای با هر جریانی، اینه که یک شخص فقط به خاطر بیان عقیدهش داره این بلا سرش میاد و لزومی نداره کسی که بخواد مثلا کمک کنه، بخواد فعالیت کنه براش، بخواد هر تلاشی که بکنه بخواد حمایت کنه حتما سیاسی باشه یا سواد سیاسی داشته باشه که این کار صرفا مثلا حمایت از جریان سیاسی باشه، بلکه این فقط نجات دادن یه جون انسانیه که کاملا بیگناه بی تقصیره. و اینکه اگه بخوام از نظر یه آتئیست نظرم بدم اینه که سهیل خودش نماد تناقض اسلامه. چرا که یه جای خود اسلام گفته هیچ اجباری در دین نیست و جای دیگه ایش برداشته گفته که کافرها رو بکشیدشون و دقیقا جمهوری اسلامی هم داره از همین تناقض استفاده میکنه و جون سهیل به خطر انداخته. به خاطر همین مسئله سهیل از نظر من مسئله خیلی مهمیه و خیلی مهمه که مردم جامعه رو هر کسی، هر فعالی به هر نحوی بتونه مردم جامعه رو پیوند بده تو فعالیت هر کس در حد توانش، فعالیتی که حالا حتما هم تو خطر نیفته. خب خیلی هستن تو ایران فعالیت میکنن سر موضوعات دیگه، سر مسائل دیگه و میتونن در حین فعالیتشون این موضوع هم داخلش بگنجونن و این مسئله رو تو مردم پررنگ‌ترش کنن. ممنون که به من فرصت دادید حرف بزنم. دیگه صحبتی ندارم. خیلی ممنون.
خیلی ممنون شکیلا سلیمی، واقعا دستتون در نکنه، خسته نباشین. Thank you Shakila Salimi for your message of solidarity with Soheil Arabi. We're going to show you a video now message from Haris Sultan. He's a Pakistani ex-Muslim who's in Australia right now. He's an activist and YouTuber. He's also sent a message of solidarity with Soheil Arabi. So we're going to show you that right now.
My dear brother, Soheil Arabi, while you suffer in prison at the hands of a brutal religious dictatorship in Iran, people like us who value freedom of conscience and freedom from religion owe everything to brave people like you. My heart beats with you, and I look for the day when you will be free from the tyranny of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Your story was one of the reasons I came out as an atheist and a human rights activist. You have inspired not just me, but many, many activists around the world. It's been 7 years since you were taken away and put in prison for doing what we all deserve and take for granted. That is freedom to speak. But these cowards fear words that don't have any guns or bombs, but they carry reason, the greatest threat of all for these tyrants. Your words of reason have trampled the mightiest of despots, shaken the very foundation of the castle of tyranny. You have instilled fear in their hearts. You have been tortured and humiliated, but you haven't been broken. Your spirit is far stronger than any lash on the back can break. You teach us every day what bravery truly is. You are a treasure for this world, and we demand the Islamic Republic of Iran to release you immediately.
Well, thank you for that, Haris Sultan. That was a wonderful message. We have some guests in the studio. I'd like to just read you another message of solidarity sent from Pragna Patel, who is the director of Southall Black Sisters. She says, "Dear Soheil, I do not know you, but you know all of us because you're fighting for all of us, for our freedoms, our dignity, and for our humanity. Today, I'm thinking of you and all political prisoners in Iran and around the world. Thank you for your bravery and courage. Thank you for standing up for us all. Thank you for standing up for freedom of expression and conscience. I know that in your prison cell, surrounded by the forces of torture and inhumanity, a mere thank you is not enough. But I hope that by registering my voice of protest, I will join the voices of many in resistance in the hope that our voices will grow so loud and strong that even the brutal Iranian regime will no longer be able to ignore us. Martin Luther King once said, 'Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.' My friend, I stand with you in solidarity in your fight to be free from justice. So that was Pragna Patel. Thank you very much for your message of solidarity. We have a number of people in the studio right now. Let me bring in Elike. Elike Ashuri. Hello, Elike. Welcome to the program. It's wonderful to have you. Elike's father is a political prisoner in Iran. He's one of the dual nationals that are being held. Thank you for coming to show your solidarity with Soheil Arabi, and likewise, we all show our solidarity with your father and the many others who are in prisons in Iran and elsewhere. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, to be honest with you, my father had never been political in his life. When he was arrested 2 years ago, we were all shocked because we didn't know why for about 4 months, because he was kept in solitary confinement and we weren't told why. And it was after 4 months where they came and raided my grandmother's house, where my dad kept all his business files, because he was retired for 2 years. They hacked into our emails, our online accounts, all our computers and documents, but they couldn't find anything that's remotely political in any of them. And after a year and a half, this is cutting the story really, really short. After a year and a half, when they did indict him, the paper that they gave him in the indictment says that there is not enough evidence to sentence this guy to be a spy, so we are going by the presumption that he's a spy and giving him 12 years in prison. So yeah, I think the reason all these dual nationals are being held, and they're being held, there's a lot of them, obviously their family, because of some of the families still being in Iran, a lot of these political prisoners are not coming forward. I mean, I know that in my dad's ward, there are about 50 or 60 dual nationals from different countries, and only 4 or 5 of them have gone public with their stories. And all of them have the same exact charge. And most of them have never been granted lawyers, or only granted lawyers when they've actually been inside the court. And that's the Court of Appeals, not the first court that they are tried in, because that's literally just them and the judge. It's not even a court as we know it. And yeah, they do sentence these people because they want something from the other country that they hold the nationality from. In case of the UK, the main ransom that they want is the £450 million debt that England is owed to Iran from the time of Shah. And obviously England denied this. I mean, they haven't been very cooperative either. And it was when I think Mr. Zarif actually came on public television and said blatantly that this is what we want in order to free the UK nationals, including my dad, Aras Amiri, and Mrs. Nazanin Ratcliffe, is for this debt to be paid. And we do know this now, and the British government can't deny it anymore, but nothing is really being done. At first it was Brexit, which kind of deflected from the issue of the dual nationals being taken hostages, and obviously now with coronavirus taking over, no one's really focusing on these people, which is a shame, because Britain, I think, as we know recently, spent £75 million to bring back all the Britons that were stuck on holiday abroad. So people in New Zealand, Australia, India, people who were in relative comfort, that were they were doing interviews on TV, on beaches and near swimming pools, and these people were brought home with chartered planes, but there's no mention of the dual nationals at all.
Yes, I mean, exactly. And I think one of the things too is that this just shows the inhumanity of the system there, in the sense that also, for example, a crime. You know, he's just written a post on Facebook. He's expressed his opinions in the same way the dual nationals are being used. The so-called blasphemy charges are also being used in another way in order to maintain power and control and suppress the population at large. So I think all of these cases are linked, even if they're very different reasons for why they've been imprisoned. And a lot of people who are languishing in Iranian prisons are not necessarily political activists, but I think because of what they say or what they do, even, you know, deciding not to wear the veil anymore, these all become political actions against the state, and a lot of innocent people are in prison, and criminals are running the country, basically, you know, and I think that's the sad reality of it, and it's important that we stand up for your father, for Soheil Arabi, for all those who are in Iran, who are prisoners of conscience in a way, or being used as hostages.
Absolutely, definitely.
Thank you so much, Elika, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and we hope your father is freed very soon as well. Thank you all. I think there's quite a few people who are in the studio right now waiting to speak with us. Before I bring them in, let me just read a message from the human rights activist Nazanin Afshinjam. She's written a message for Soheil Arabi. She says, during this time of isolation and just having passed Easter weekend, I can't help but reflect on how blessed I feel to be able to practice my faith and freedom. I'm thinking about prisoners of conscience like Soheil Arabi, who've received death sentences in Iran simply for being an atheist and questioning Islam and the supreme spiritual leader of Iran, Khamenei. Freedom of religion includes the choice not to believe in a higher power, and it's a fundamental human right. Expressing it is freedom of conscience. It's also a fundamental human right, and it's not a crime, and certainly can't be used by a state to condemn someone to the death penalty. The UN, freedom-loving people worldwide, have to do everything in their power to save the life of Soheil and other prisoners of conscience who are suffering grave human rights abuses in jail, heavy sentences and fines, and now their lives are in jeopardy in crowded jail cells with the threat of the spread of coronavirus. And she says that she stands in solidarity with Soheil Arabi. We have now, I think, in the studio a few people waiting. Can we have Mohsen Safar Elahi, please, joining us? Welcome, Mohsen, and the floor is yours.
درود میفرستم به تمام آزادی خواهان. من یک آتئیست هستم. در این موردم سعی میکنم فعالیت داشته باشم، آگاهی ببخشم اطرافیانمو. شعری از زنده یاد سیمین بهبهانی میخونم. مادران هر نیمه شب بر در خانه‌ام میکوبند که ای مادران خفتیده‌ای؟ دخترانمان را پسرانمان را ربودند، چهرهشان را صدایشان را نمیبینیم نمیشنویم. خفتیده‌ای؟ جویای دانش بودند، گم شدند، گرمای آتش بودند، خاکستر شدند. خفتیده‌ای؟ میگویم من کجا، خواب از کجا؟ فریادم در تهی نای هوا میمیرد. امواج را از کوتاه و بلند و میانه گردن زدند. ای سلسله جنبانان، خود جگرگوشگان دارید، جگرگوشگان ما را بیش میازارید. رهایشان کنید تا رها شوید از عذابی که میکشید. ای سلسله جنبانان، گر سلسله جنبانید زین بیش مرنجانید. سهیل را کجا بردید؟ کلامش را کجا بردید؟ کلامش به پیش ماست، تنش را به حصار بردید. به امید آزادی سهیل عربی و تمام زندانیان عقیدتی و سیاسی، بدرود.
خیلی ممنون واقعا خیلی شعر قشنگی بود واقعا خسته نباشین مرسی که اینجا بودید با ما و به امید دیدار و فعالیت بیشتر برای آزادی سهیل عربی و تمام زندانیان سیاسی واقعا موفق
کمترین وظیفه بود
خیلی ممنون که اینجا بود Thank you. That was a beautiful poem that Mohsen Safar Elahi just read out. And now we are going to invite another one of our guests. We have also in the studio Milad Resai Manesh. Welcome, Milad. Thank you for coming into the program, and we look forward to hearing from you. Please, you're welcome to take the floor.
Thank you very much. If you hear me, I would like to sort out the camera first. I don't know what is wrong with this.
Okay, while you're doing the camera, can I just read out another message of solidarity, please? This is from Mariama Helalukis. She's the founder of Secularism is a Women's Issue. She said that repression of free thought is something that belongs to the Dark Ages. The Iranian regime is cynically using religion to impose itself upon people. Neither sincere believers in Islam nor secularists, agnostics, and atheists can condone the eradication of our most fundamental human rights, the freedom of conscience and expression. Mullahs, you don't speak for the people, as street demonstrations have made very clear in the past, and you don't even speak for believers as you pretend. I salute the courage and persistence of Soheil Arabi in defending our right to blasphemy, which is what is left to us when our freedom from religion is taken away. Free Soheil Arabi and long live free thought. So that was a message from Mariama Helalukis, founder of Secularism is a Women's Issue. Welcome, Milad. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you, Mariam, and the rest of the people running such a brilliant idea like online demonstration. This is the first time actually I'm seeing such a thing. It's a very brilliant idea, specifically at this time that we all quarantine because of coronavirus. I think we really needed to have something regarding the Soheil case, and then we did this, like we came across with this brilliant idea, online demonstration. Thank you for having me. The thing is, I think we all know what's happening. The people been attending the seminar so far know what happened to Soheil Arabi and the case, actually the situation he's facing at the moment. I would like to point out a few things. First of all, I think it's everyone's duty, every atheist, everyone who actually fighting for a better world, to support and stand on the side of Soheil, to be somehow the voice of Soheil. If you see yourself as an atheist, for example, if you see yourself, define yourself as a free thinker or like an ex-Muslim, actually, it's up to you guys to stand on the side of Soheil and be his voice and do your best to like help him be out of the prison. It's like beside the human case of him, like everyone's supposed to be free to express themselves, everyone supposed to be have like a basic human rules, even if they are in prison. Soheil Arabi is the spokesperson of all atheists in the world. It's a movement, it's a global movement, and Soheil is one valuable, I would say, warrior for this movement. So if you see yourself, as I said, as an atheist or like ex-Muslim or whatever you are, like how you define yourself, doesn't really matter. It's the time to stand on side of Soheil Arabi and like somehow try to support and be his voice all around the globe. That's my message to all the atheists around the world. It's about time to do that. All of you guys do something. We at the Central Committee of Ex-Muslim in Scandinavia been focused and like been very hardcore to be the voice of Soheil Arabi and spread the word about the things happening regarding his case. I guess everyone else should do the same thing. That would be my message. Any question?
Thank you very much, Milad. It was great having you here. Thank you for being here with us and always fighting for these important issues for people like Soheil Arabi. Thank you for joining us. I think the next person we have in the studio is Ali Faryad. I'm not sure if Ali Faryad is here. If you can please join us in the studio. Thank you. It's hello Faryad. It's very good to have you. خوش اومدین. بفرمایین صحبتاتون رو میتونین الان انجام بدین. مرسی.
درود به شما. صدای من هست؟ من مطلب کوتاهی رو میخواستم بگم، خیلی وقتتون رو نمیگیرم. دوستانم صحبت کنند. از نگاه من بیشترین نفرت از مجازات در واقع نفرت از اون کسانیه که اونقدر به باورهای خودشون و عقاید خودشون اعتقاد دارن که این اجازه رو به خودشون میدن که دیگران رو بی هیچ تردیدی مجازات کنن و این در حالیه که خودشون جنایتکارن. از نگاه من ما نمیتونیم در این حال که خودمون جنایتکاریم جنایت رو برای خودمون و کیفر و مجازات رو برای دیگران در نظر بگیریم. از نگاه من یا در زندان‌ها رو باز کنید و سهیل و امثال سهیل رو آزاد کنید و یا اون قداست خودتون رو اثبات کنید که فکر میکنم یک چیز مضحک و دست نیافتنی باشه. به عنوان یک عضو کوچیک از جامعه بزرگ آتئیستای سرافراز مطالبه میکنم و دادخواهی میکنم آزادی هرچه سریعتر سهیل و همه زندانی‌های سیاسی رو. بیش از این وقتتون رو نمیگیرم. ممنون از اینکه فرصت بهم دادید.
واقعا دستتون در نکنه، خسته نباشین. خیلی خوشحال شدیم که شما با ما بودید در این مبارزه برای آزادی سهیل عربی و زندانیان سیاسی در ایران و همه جای دنیا که به خاطر کفرگویی، به خاطر عقاید خودشون الان زندانی هستن. ممنون فریاد عزیز، ممنون از شما. مرسی، خیلی ممنون. Our next guest is Shahab Zaqibi, I think, who should be in the studio right now. While we're waiting for Shahab, I would like to read you another message. Shahab, هستین توی استودیو؟ Okay. شهاب مثل اینکه نیستن الان، ولی مهشاد افشار هستن. بفرمایید مهشاد جان. Mahshad Afshar is an Iranian filmmaker living in the UK, and she joins us now to show her solidarity with Soheil Arabi and also political prisoners in Iran. Welcome, Mahshad. The floor is yours.
مریم جان، خیلی تشکر میکنم از اینکه امروز من رو هم فراخوان کردید به این همایش و اعتراض آنلاین. اتفاقا من چند روزی بود که به این موضوع خیلی فکر میکردم که در این روزهایی که شاید زندانیان سیاسی تنها ترین هستند در زندانها و بیشتر از همیشه برای زندگی خودشون ترس دارن، چرا جامعه هنری، سلبریتی ها و همه کسانی که فضای مجازی رو اشغال کرده بودن با هجویات و واقعا حضور بی مصرف خودشون، با شوآف های الکی و فقط دنبال فالوورهای میلیونی هست و پوزهای مضحک بی مصرف، امروز اون آدم ها کجا هستن؟ چرا هیچ اثری ازشون نیست؟ چرا برای انسان هایی که فالوورهاشون بودن، برای همه اون ایرانی هایی که دست و پا براشون شکوندن، هیچ امروز حرکتی نشون نمیدن این انسان ها؟ دیروز البته از عده کمی از سینماگران ایران که 7-8 نفر هستن یک بیانیه اومد که در حقیقت برای تامین بهداشت و سلامت زندانیان عقیدتی، سیاسی و فعالان محیط زیست دور هم جمع شدن و این بیانیه رو دادن و درخواست کردن که به خاطر این پندمیکی که الان وجود داره و تهدیدی که برای جان زندانیان سیاسی و غیر عقیدتی و فعالان وجود داره، دولت حرکتی انجام بده و بیشتر از این اشتباه نکنه، بیشتر از این جان این انسان‌ها رو به خطر نندازه. که از کسانی که این نامه رو امضا کردن: داریوش مهرجویی، جعفر پناهی، علیرضا داوود نژاد، کیومرث پوراحمد، محمد رسولوف، محسن امیر یوسفی، مجتبی میرطهماس و رضا دردوشی هستند. فیلم آخر آقای محمد رسولوف که بعد از اونم درخواست کردن ازشون که خودشون رو به دادگاه و در حقیقت برای زندانی شدن معرفی بکنن، با نام شیطان وجود ندارد. من میخواستم بگم اتفاقا شیطان خیلی وجود دارد. ای کسانی که دم از خدا میزنید، شیطان وجود دارد. شیطان شماهایی هستید که برای جان انسانها ارزشی قائل نیستید. برای امثال سهیل عربی و کسای دیگه‌ای که به هر دلیلی به خاطر باور داشتن، باور نداشتن، هر ایده‌ای که دارن اینا رو زندانی میکنید. و امیدوارم که در این روزها مسئولین چشمشون رو باز بکنن و بیشتر به این فکر بکنن که دنیا بهشون داره نگاه میکنه. به تصمیماتی که مسئولین در این لحظات میگیرن دنیا چشم دوخته و مسئولینی که میتونید خیلی راحت بودن و نبودن یک زندانی رو در زندان پای برگشت رو امضا کنید، شما مطمئن باشید که تاریخ رفتار امروز شما رو به خاطر خواهد سپرد. بنابراین من از همه کسانی که دستن در کار هستن، از هنرمندان، فعالان حقوق اجتماعی، سیاسی و همچنین مسئولین جمهوری اسلامی فکر میکنم که الان لحظه‌ای هست که باید شما وظیفه انسانی دارید که امثال سهیل عربی و بقیه زندانیان رو آزاد بکنید و حق ندارید راجع به انسان‌ها تصمیم بگیرید و اونها رو به مخاطره بندازید. خیلی ممنونم مریم جان که این فرصت رو به من دادین. من سعی میکنم بیشتر از این وقت برنامه شما رو نگیرم.
خیلی ممنون مهشاد عزیز، واقعا دست در نکنه، هم برای عکسایی که فرستادی در حمایت از سهیل عربی، هم برای صحبتات. واقعا خسته نباشی. میخوای یه پیام انگلیسی هم بدی یا؟
فکر کنم خوبه دیگه، دوستان دیگه رو زبان انگلیسی هستن. خودم ممنونم ازتون.
That was I'm sure an Iranian artist. She was speaking about the conditions of prisoners and the need for people to take action, including artists and free thinkers everywhere. Let's now invite Samane Nataqi, who is in the studio with us, to give a message of solidarity. Samane, are you there? It would, if you are, let's hear from you.
سلام به شما مریم عزیز و همه دوستانی که در این اکسیون شرکت کردین. ازتون ممنونم که این فرصت رو توی این ایام قرنطینه برای ما فراهم کردین که بتونیم حمایت بکنیم. من یک آتئیست هستم و خیلی خوشحالم که الان اینجام، نه تنها برای اینکه میخوایم حمایت بکنیم از سهیل، از جان سهیل، بیشتر به خاطر اینکه احساس میکنم اگر ما بتونیم دست در دست هم بدیم و ریشه این ظلم رو بخشکونیم، یه هدیه‌ای به آیندگان خودمون میدیم و اون هم این هستش که شما در ایران و هر جای دنیا که هستید میتونید آزاد اندیش باشید و هر جور که دوست دارید بدون اینکه به کسی آسیب برسونید ایده، عقیده و هر آنچه که توی ذهنتون هست رو بیان بکنید. ممنونم. امیدوارم که صدای ما برسه به گوش دولت‌ها که بتونیم فشار بیاریم به دولت جمهوری اسلامی برای آزادی سهیل عربی. ممنونم از شما.
خیلی ممنون سامان عزیز، واقعا خسته نباشین. مرسی برای پیامتون و برای همه فعالیتاتون. واقعا خسته نباشن همه کسایی که امروز اومدن و صحبت کردن. به نظرم خب اهمیت زیادی داره که سهیل عربی و همه کسانی که تو زندان هستن بدونن که تنها نیستن و کسان زیادی هستن که دارن تلاش میکنن که آزاد باشن و مهمه براشون که چه سرنوشتی دارن و زندگیشون چطوری داره به سر میره. الان خیلی ممنون.
مرسی.
خیلی ممنون. دوست بعدیمون که توی استودیو علی شریفی، بفرمایید علی شریفی عزیز. We have now another speaker, Ali Sharifi, coming from in the studio. Oh, thank you, Ali. Welcome, Ali. خوش اومدین. بفرمایید. The floor is yours.
سلام عرض می‌کنم خدمت شما و شاهین عزیز. ممنونم ازتون که امروز این برنامه رو تشکیل دادین. من صحبت زیادی ندارم، فقط خواستم چند جمله صحبت کنم در مورد اینکه خب همه دوستان صحبتاشون رو کردن. اسلام سیاسی نشون داده در طول تاریخ که هر جایی قدرت داشته باشه، هر جایی که زور داشته باشه، مخالفانش رو خیلی راحت از بین میبره. از قتل مرحوم کسروی، از اعدام‌های سال 67، از قتل‌های زنجیره‌ای تا قتل مرحوم شیرعلی محمدی پارسال در زندان اسلامی. و خیلی خوبه که ما بتونیم صدای سهیل عربی باشیم، بتونیم جون یک انسان رو نجات بدیم و بتونیم از حق آزادی بیان دفاع کنیم. ما هیچ چیزی نمیخوایم، فقط بتونیم حق زیستن داشته باشیم، حق حرف زدن داشته باشیم و اون اقلیت کوچیکی که هستیم حداقل بتونیم با هم متحد باشیم و بتونیم الان جون یک نفر رو نجات بدیم. امیدوارم که بتونیم کارزار خوب باشیم و به سهیل بتونیم کمک کنیم امروز.
خیلی ممنون علی شریفی، واقعا دستتون در نکنه. ممنون از صحبتاتون. فکر کنم الان شاهین محمدی دوست دارین شما بیاین صحبت کنین مجددا در رابطه با همین کمپین و وضعیت سهیل، اگر اوکی باشه. Can we have شاهین محمدی on next؟ و تا شاهین محمدی میاد بذارین من یه پیامی بخونم از رابن بلومنر. Before we have Shaheen Mohammadi join us now to discuss Soheil Arabi's case further, let me read you a message from Robin Blumner, who's the president of the Center for Inquiry and also the executive director of the Richard Dawkins Foundation for Reason and Science. She's written that the Center for Inquiry stands for reason, science, and secular values around the world. We support Soheil Arabi's right to speak out on behalf of atheism and against theocracy and religious dogma. We support his quest for freedom of conscience, his right to question and criticize religion, and we find his continued confinement and mistreatment for simply exercising that freedom to be an outrage that the world is rightly judging. So that was a message from Robin Blumner, president of CFI and also the Richard Dawkins Foundation. بفرمایید شاهین محمدی, you have the floor.
Thanks a lot, Mariam John. Thank you. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about Soheil. Actually, Soheil, when he just started to be active in about atheism and just do political stuff, he said that I used to walk beside the prisons, and whenever I was going beside the prisons, I saw the prisoners and they were in those prisons and those situations, I always cried for them. I was always sad for them, because it was a sad situation. To talk to my friends about situation of Soheil, about situation of prisoners, about situation that they're in, and why they should be in prison, because they just talked about their ideas, about their just they are just political prisoners. Why should they be in prison, and why should they be in jail? And actually, Soheil right now is in 14th day of his hunger strike, and he is not in a good situation right now. And he is going to be under his investigation, and for about 21 days, and in an unknown location, because he just talked about his situation and the prison situation. And this shouldn't be like that. And this is the worst problem, I think, that we have in Islamic regime of Iran. Actually, Iran, and right now we are seeing lots of movements in Iran. They are people that they show that they don't want Islam and they don't want to be Muslim, but unfortunately they are living under those situations, and they're living under those problems that Islamic regime is going to make for them. And I think blasphemy shouldn't be. Blasphemy is not a crime. Blasphemy. We have lots of prisoners in Iran that they have been released. Those prisoners who have been like kind of criminals, and they have been released because of Corona situation, but not political prisoners. And this is something that it needs to be taken into consideration. The Islamic regime also arrested Soheil's mother for a couple of times. She was also under investigation because she just talked about Soheil's situation. And I believe, and Soheil's mother is not the only mother that have been under investigation, that's been in prison. We have lots of other mothers, other prisoners that their mothers are in jail, or even the people that the regime has killed, have killed them, and they are in prison. Their mothers are in prison. Why? Because they just protested against this situation. And we have to do something. I believe we have to talk. When we talk more about Soheil, and when we talk about political prisoners when we talk about these situations that are going to be in the world because of these problems, these actually religious governments, when we talk more, it will be much better, because these regimes will stop. These regimes will stop what they're doing, and I believe it's going to help, because when we did this once, when Soheil was going to be hanged because of insulting Prophet of Islam, when he was going to be hanged, and we started protesting about it, and they stopped it. And I believe if we do it more, they will stop these situations. We had another prisoner called Ali Reza Shir Muhammad Ali that this regime killed him. This regime killed him, and but not direct. They killed him by 2 other criminal prisoners. They told him to attack this to Ali Shir Muhammad Ali, and they just killed him. And it's so easy for these kind of governments to kill the people. I believe right now there are some people which are waiting. I don't know who is going to talk about Ali Salimi, and I believe someone who is going to talk.
Thank you, Shine John. Let me first let's show a video that was sent to us by Nada Perac-Radfrau. She's a feminist and a humanist from the Center for Civil Courage in Croatia, and it includes a famous German song that says "Thoughts are free." So let's listen to that first and then go to our next guest. I think the sound is not coming on the video, unfortunately. I think unfortunately we've had video messages from a number of people, including Nada Perat Radfrau. We've also had messages from Iman Soleimani Amiri, who's a lawyer and a writer and a critic of Islam, Halal Tahiri from the Middle Eastern Women and Society Organization, as well as from Rahila Gupta, who's a writer and an activist, and Peter Tatchell, who's a human rights campaigner. Not all our videos are working, and so unfortunately we're not able to show them live, but we will try to make sure they're online at the end of this live protest. As Milad said, this is the first time there's been an online protest, the use of the internet to protest in defense of a campaign of sorts. And so hopefully there'll be many more of these, especially at a time when we're in lockdown, that we can still continue to campaign on behalf of people and causes that are important, and particularly causes like that of Soheil Arabi, whose life is in danger. I think we now have in the studio Ali Sharifi. We have a couple of people in the studio. That's wonderful. Welcome to our guests who are here. Can we have Monica Lanfranco? She is the editor of Maria Review. She's a long-time veteran feminist activist, and it's wonderful, from Italy. It's wonderful to have you here, Monica. The floor is yours.
Hello, Mariam. It's very, very nice to see you. When we see the last time in London on a secular conference, three years ago, we all miss you here in Italy because you were invited at 25 years of Marea, so deep in our heart. Briefly, a short message from Italy, because we are, as you know, in a very big mess about coronavirus, and we work online, and many people are losing the work. But the point, the main argument about freedom of speech and to show solidarity with all people are in jail and persecution, about this theme is important. Yesterday I wrote an article about the last speech of the Pope. As you know, in Italy we have a very good Pope compared with the previous. But in this speech of yesterday, the Pope put together his deeply sentiment against war and abortion. So I had to write an article on my blog in one of the most important newspapers in Italy called Il Fatto Quotidiano and Micromega, to help the Pope to understand that war and abortion in the same frame is a mess. It's impossible for human being, for all women, also women not feminist. So we see that is deeply important to support all the people. They risk to lose freedom and life basically only for say the truth, and to be free to say I don't believe in God, and I'm a free thinker, I'm a feminist, I'm a lesbian. You know, we are, and we hope after the corona we can help each other to improve our freedom and open our mind and other minds in the heart, because the real war is this is real war. People in jail for free thinking and free thoughts to help people to be free. It's a real a horror film, but it's not a film, it's a reality. So I thank you and all the people and all people of your team for the huge work we do for all of us.
Thank you, Monica, for being here, for your solidarity and support over the many years. It's really great to have you here and to see you here. Thank you also for all those who are giving live comments. So I appreciate it. I'm supposed to be a multitasker. I'm a woman, right? But I find it really difficult. Maybe it's just I'm too old to do this, but I'm finding it really difficult to respond to live comments, bring people in, and that's with Vidu Wids, Shaheen Mohammadi also helping, and all these wonderful guests lined up and activists. So my apologies if I'm not responding to the messages, but I think some of them have to do with what people can do, and of course people can do many things. There's a petition, there are campaigns for those who are on death row or in prison for blasphemy, not just in Iran but elsewhere. It's joining those campaigns, continuing to keep the pressure on, and ensuring that blasphemy laws are eradicated everywhere. As Mimsy Vids just said, end blasphemy laws. That's really important. And also to keep continuing to use the hashtag Free Soheil Arabi, Free Soheil, Save Soheil, End Blasphemy Laws, so we can keep highlighting this issue for today and for days to come, and hopefully help save Soheil's life and the life of many others. We have a few other people in the studio right now. Ali Sharifi is next, I think. Welcome, Ali Sharifi. Please feel free to come online if you're in the studio still. And if Ali Sharifi is not there, we can then maybe speak to Abbas Mohammadpour, who might be in the studio. Yes, welcome Abbas Mohammadpour. Thank you. بفرمایید.
درود بر شما. منم سلام عرض میکنم خدمت شما مریم نمازی عزیز و بینندگان عزیز این برنامه. خوشحالم که درخواست منو قبول کردین که در این لایو شرکت کنم و صدای سهیل عربی باشم. ما کمپین های رو تشکیل داده بودیم از 17 آگوست 2019 در سطح جهان برای دفاع از سهیل عربی و اینکه صدای سهیل عربی و سایر زندانیای سیاسی و عقیدتی باشیم. و من این مطلب رو میخواستم بگم که سهیل عربی فقط یک نمونه از صدها هزار زندانی سیاسی که توی زندانهای جمهوری اسلامی الان داره شکنجه میشه، فقط یک نمونه از این هزاران زندانی. متاسفانه چند ساعت پیش ما دوباره خبردار شدیم که تو این یک هفته اخیر سهیل عربی برای دومین بار به بهانه رسیدگی به وضعیت پزشکیش به قرارگاه سارالله سپاه دوباره منتقل شده و بازم مورد تهدید و بازجویی قرار گرفته. و من اینجا به زبان فارسی از تمامی مردم تقاضا میکنم، به خصوص از فعالینی که در خارج از ایران زندگی میکنن، اینو در نظر بگیرن، مطمئن باشن. قطعا اگر ما الان توی ایران بودیم و اینطوری میتونستیم در مورد آتئیستی، جنبش خدا ناباوری صحبت بکنیم، بعد عقاید خودمون رو بگیم، قطعا ما هم یکی مثل سهیل عربی بودیم که الان توی زندان‌ها داشتیم زجر می‌کشیدیم و شکنجه می‌شدیم و اینه که نباید بی‌تفاوت باشیم، باید صدای سهیل‌ها باشیم. حالا خوشبختانه با این وضعیتی که الان پیش اومده، حالا این فضای مجازی انقدر قدرتمند شده که میتونیم بازم صدامون رو رساتر و کوبنده‌تر به گوش جهانیان برسونیم و من دوباره درخواست میکنم که همین برنامه ها رو همه ما فعالین بازم انجام بدیم، بازم همچین لایو هایی رو بذاریم. بعد توی شورای مرکزی اکس مسلم بعد از میلاد رسای منش، نصرن گودرزی، شما توی انگلستان و ما هم توی آلمان همچین کمپین های رو بازم به قوت ادامه بدیم و بتونیم که صدای سهیل عربی باشیم و اینکه با کمک همدیگه بتونیم سهیل عربی رو نجات بدیم. ممنونم، مرسی. من دیگه بیشتر از این وقت رو نمیگیرم.
خیلی ممنون عباس عزیز، واقعا خسته نباشین. Abbas just spoke about the fact that there are so many other political prisoners in Iran as well, under very serious conditions, and that it's important that we continue to work for their release, both that of Soheil Arabi as well as others who are in prison right now. خیلی ممنون Abbas Jan. We now have Mercedes Qaedi in the studio. Mercedes Qaedi is a former political prisoner. Both her brothers and her sister-in-law were executed during the 80s in Iran. She is the spokesperson of London spokesperson of Iran Tribunal, and she's here now to give us a message as well. Mercedes Qaedi Aziz, خوش اومدید. بفرمایید.
من با درود به شما و مریم نمازی عزیز و با تشکر از اکس مسلم بریتانیا که همچین کاری رو پیش میبره و تمام کسایی که در اتاق هستن. من میخوام اول با فرنگیس مظلوم، مادر سهیل عربی صحبت کنم و بهش بگم فرنگیس جان، میدونم دوران سختی رو داری پشت سر میزنی، ولی جز مادرهایی هستی که لحظه به لحظه ما رو در جریان وضعیت سهیل عزیز قرار میدی و نقش خانواده ها در این شرایط سخت که میدونین که من به عنوان یک زندانی الان میدونم که زندان در چه شرایطی وجود داره. زندان جمهوری اسلامی هیچ وقت بهداشت نداشت، هیچ وقت امکانات غذایی نداره، هیچ وقت نمیتونه در این شرایط که کرونا تمام دنیا رو گرفته و زندانیان رو درگیر نکنه و به خصوص زندانیانی مثل سهیل عربی که با تمام وجودش که در شما متفاوتا صحبت شد، سهیل واقعا مریضه. خیلی از زندانیان مریضن، تحت شکنجه‌های شدید رژیم قرار گرفتن فقط برای عقیدهشون. سهیل عربی به خاطر به عنوان که یه اتئیست، به اینکه به خدا اعتقاد نداره و به یک دنیای بهتری اعتقاد داره و بیش از چندین سالگی زیر فشار شدید قرار داره و در این شرایط در نظر بگیرین که سهیل در این شرایط سخت حتی نمیتونه کنار دختر کوچولوشم باشه و علاوه بر اون ما میدونیم برای فرنگیس مظلوم چقدر سخته. فرنگیس تمام این خطری که هر روز باید بره تو محیط‌های زندان و دنبال پسرش و ببینید چه خبر تازه‌ای رو میگیره. ما در این شرایط علاوه بر این که باید کمپین‌های بزرگی در حمایت به آزادی تمامی زندانیان و به خصوص زندانیان سیاسی که به همین برنامه‌ای که الان داریم، ولی یادمون نره حمایت هایی که باید از خانواده زندانیان سیاسی، خانواده زندانیان سیاسی الان در بدترین شرایط قرار دارن و من به عنوان یکی از زندانیان سابق باید خطاب به همه بگم همیشه رژیم جمهوری اسلامی در هر بحران هایی که درگیر میشه اولین سرکوبگراش بچه های زندان هستن، چون زندان، بچه های زندان در بسته در اختیارشونن و من از روز اول میدونستم که میگفت زندانیا رو آزاد میکنن، ولی من میدونستم که شامل سهیل عربی، جعفر عظیمزاده، آتنا و زندانیان دیگه که الان فرصت نیست شامل اینها نخواهد شد و ما میبینیم به بهانه‌های متفاوت خانواده ها رو میکشونن و جواب منفی میدن. ولی ما هیچ انتظاری از یک رژیم جنایتکار اسلامی نداریم. 40 سال داره جنایت میکنه، 40 سال داره عزیزای ما رو به خاطر افکارشون داره اعدام میکنه. ما با فشار خودمون، با فشار مردم، با فشار خانواده های دادخواه، من مطمئنم فرانگیز کاری که داره میکنه در ادامه اهداف پسرش و روزانه داره اهداف پسرش رو برای آزادش داره تبلیغ میکنه و لحظه نمیذاره که دنیا بیخبر بمونه از وضعیت سهیل و سهیل عربی هایی که الان در زندان هستن. باز هم مریم نمازی خیلی ممنون که این فرصت به من دادین و من اینجا میگم فرانگیز عزیز، همه ما در کنارت هستیم برای آزادی سهیل عربی و تمام زندانیان سیاسی.
خیلی ممنون مرسد قائدی، واقعا خسته نباشید و ممنون که با ما بودید و به امید آزادی سهیل عربی و تمام زندانیان سیاسی تو ایران و کسایی که در سراسر دنیا به خاطر کفرگویی، ارتداد، به خاطر عقایدشون و ابراز عقیدهشون تحت شکنجه زندانیان و حکم اعدام هم دارن به زیر حکم اعدام به سر میبرن. ممنون. That was Merced Qaedi. She was talking about the situation in prisons. Also, I think one of the important points she raised is the fact that the mothers of political prisoners and the situation that they face. You know, Soheil Arabi's mother has been arrested. She has spoken out in his defense nonetheless. She's been carrying that torch for his freedom, as have many mothers of political prisoners in the country. The mothers of Khavaran is one great example. Merced's mother was a mother of Khavaran who recently passed away. Mothers who are demanding accountability and justice for their children who've been either killed and executed by the regime or who are now languishing in Iran's prisons. We have in the studio others now with us. We have Shaparak Shajarizadeh. Welcome, Shaparak. Please join us. While Shaparak is joining us, I'd like to read you a message in defense of Soheil that has been sent by Sadiq Samad, who is the coordinator of ex-Muslims of Tamil Nadu in India. He says, we have experienced the cruelty of Islam in 2017 and after the murder of Farooq, who's an Indian atheist. Most of us here are not ready to come out in public, so we can only send this message. We can understand the pain of Soheil Arabi and his family, and ex-Muslims of Tamil Nadu, India supports this protest. Thank you to the ex-Muslims of Tamil Nadu for your solidarity, and we look forward to working with you over many years to come. Thank you. Shaparak, welcome, and please take the floor. Welcome Shaparak. Welcome. بفرمایید. خوش اومدین.
مرسی عزیزم. Do you want me to talk in English or in Farsi?
You can talk in both, either, whatever you're comfortable.
First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me in this conversation. My English is not that good. First, I'm so sorry. If I can talk fluently, like many other Iranians, I'm so worried for Soheil's life. We all know his life is in danger, but you were a political, you used to be an activist, and I was for a while, and we all know when you face injustice, when you face injustice in prison, and you don't have anyone to help you, there's no legal system, there's no law to protect your rights. The only thing that we have inside when we are in captivity, when we are inside prison, is our life. The only thing that we have. This is the only thing, the only fight you have, your life. And that's why many prisoners of conscience in Iran decide to go on hunger strike, like other dictatorship regimes. And Soheil has been proving that he's a free soul, and he's so brave. All Iranian know him for his bravery. Also his mom. They are so brave, and they're not afraid of the government. I remember when the interrogated me, he wanted to pin out of my statements, out of my answers. He wanted to pin me with being an atheist, and I remember I was afraid, and I told him frankly that no, I'm not an atheist, but I knew I wasn't a Muslim. I knew that I was an ex-Muslim, but I lied. And many people lie during interrogations because they know they're gonna face death if the judges could prove that you're not a Muslim anymore. But Soheil was always a brave soul, and he wasn't afraid of like that. This is the greatest thing about this man, that he knows what he's doing, and he knows his voice for many Iranian, and he believes in his fight, and like him, all the Iranian, all the people who don't want to practice Islam. This is our right. This is not something that we have been chosen for ourselves, and but he's a voice for many Iranian, and right now his life is in danger, and this is our I guess responsibility to be his voice. Many, in many cases, prisoners had died inside prison after being on long hunger strikes, and this is our responsibility to prevent this incident for Soheil. And I admire him, and I know in many cases, I know for sure my friends Mojgan, Yasaman, Monire, Saba, they told them frankly that we're not gonna put bail for your release. We're not gonna release you even on furlough, despite the coronavirus spread inside prison. They told them that we're not gonna let you go even on furlough. And but Soheil is fighting for his life, and I guess this is our responsibility to make awareness in the world and be his voice. I hope we can do something for our friends inside prisons also, Soheil.
Thank you so much for your words and your acts of solidarity and your continued activism. It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you. Also for all your campaigning work against compulsory veiling laws in Iran. All of these issues are so linked because it's all linked to people living in a theocracy, the Islamic regime of Iran, where they cannot breathe, they cannot dress how they want, they cannot think how they want, they cannot love how they want, and so this resistance that takes place from women like yourself and all the others who we've had, other speakers and guests we've had, as well as people like Soheil Arabi, really the courage and bravery is what is keeping, a sort of humanity's flame alive, really, in conditions where it's so dark, it's so bleak. Imagine being in a prison of the Islamic regime of Iran. I mean, the country itself is a big prison for many. But in that situation, still speaking, still standing strong, I think that takes a special kind of courage and bravery. And it's really important that we continue to support Soheil and many like him. Thank you, Sharpaya.
Can I say something to Farangiz?
Yes, please. Farangiz is Soheil's mom. Please, go ahead.
Thank you. فرانگیز جون خیلی کارت ارزشمنده. همه مردم ایران مبارزه و فعالیتی که از اول برای آزادی پسرت انجام دادی رو دارن میبینن. خیلی از خانواده‌های سیاسی شجاعت تو رو نداشتن که صدای فرزندانشون باشن، ولی تو زندگی خودت رو عزیزم به خطر انداختی برای نجات پسرت و به صف مبارزین پیوستی. ما هممون دوستت داریم و تو این مبارزه‌ای که داری میکنی بدون که تنها نیستی و در کنار سهیل نامت در کنار تمام آزادی خواهان هستش و همه ساپورتت میکنیم. Thank you Farangiz Jun. We all going to support you and we appreciate your fight for freedom and also for Soheil.
Hi, Mariam, you're on mute, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I guess I muted myself without realizing. So we now have Behnam Ebrahimzadeh in the studio. He is one of the activists in Iran, and he's also a former political prisoner. It's such a pleasure. Behnam Aziz, واقعا خوش اومدید. خیلی خوشحالیم که شما با ما هستید. بفرمایید و صحبتاتون رو. بهنام ابراهیمزاده خودشون یه زندانی سیاسی سابق هستن و همبندی سابق سهیل عربی هستن. اینو به انگلیسی هم فقط بگم که بهنام ابراهیمزاده was a cellmate of Soheil Arabi's as well. So we're very happy to have him here. Welcome. بفرمایید.
سلام عرض میکنم مریم عزیز و به کسایی که در این لایف هستن و دوست دستم در کار. من واقعا هیجان شده شدم که برای اولین بار تونستم در همچین لایوی، اونم کنار شما عزیز که سالهاست شما را از نزدیک میشناسم و با فعالیت‌های خوب و مثمر ثمر شما آشنا هستم. واقعا خوشحالم و هیجان زده شدم. بله، اشاره کردید من به عنوان یکی از همبندیان سابق سهیل عزیز در بند 350 زندان اوین من مدت‌های زیادی همبند بودم و افتخار اینو داشتم که در کنار بزرگانی مثل سهیل و دیگر عزیزان باشم. اما به عنوان انسانی که سالها منم رنج زندان رو کشیدم و زندان‌های مختلف رو از نزدیک دیدم و لمس کردم و در این مورد هم هزینه‌های زیادی دادم، میخوام بگم که در وضعیت کنونی شرایط زندان به هیچ عنوان و خوب نیست و نگران کننده است و به عنوان یک زندانی منم نگرانم و خوشحالم که این فرصت رو به من دادید که تونستم صدای سهیل باشم و در کنار شما باشم. از همه کسایی که امروز و الان صدای منو میشنون میخوام مثل همه کارزارهایی که دوستان ما راه انداختن و منم به عنوان عضوی که افتخار اینو داشتم در کنار کارزارها و کمپین‌های مختلف همین الان قرار گرفتم، میخوام که در بلند کردن صدای سهیل و در کارزارهایی که راه انداخته شده شرکت کنن و فعالانه وسیعاً جمهوری اسلامی رو تحت فشار قرار بدن، چرا که جان سهیل عربی و سهیل عربی واقعا در خطره. و از اینجا میخوام تشکر کنم از صدای رسا و شجاعت خانم فرنگیس مظلوم که شجاعانه مثل خیلی از مادرای دیگه به میدان اومد و واقعا شجاعتش نستودنی است و میخوام که دیگر خانواده زندانی سیاسی، کسانی که هنوز خیلی گمنامند و ترس از رعب و وحشت جمهوری اسلامی این امکان و این فضا رو بهشون نمیده، عاجزانه استمداد میخوام که صداشون رو به گوش مجامع بین المللی برسانن و صدای عزیزانشون. ما هنوز خیلی از دستگیر شدگان آبان ماهو داریم که صداشون به جایی نرسیده و اینقدر خانواده تحت فشارن که نمیتونن صدای عزیزانشون باشن. در حال خیلی خوشحالم مریم عزیز که این فرصت برای من مهیا شد. میگم که واقعا هیجان شدم و خیلی خوشحالم، دارم پیگیر میشم و دنبال میکنم برنامه‌های خوب شما را. از همه عزیزان سپاسگزارم. امیدوارم بتونیم صدای سهیل و سهیلا باشیم. همچنان که عباس عزیزم اشاره کرد، این جمله رو بگم که سهیل امروز به یک مرکز امنیتی بسیار خطرناک سپاه منتقل شده با وضعیت خونریزی که ریه‌هاش و معده‌اش پیدا کرده. وضعیتش خیلی نگران کننده است. ما مستقیم با فرنگیس عزیز در تماس هستیم، نگرانی‌های اون رو می‌بینیم. این وظیفه همه ماست که صدای سهیل باشن. ممنونم که وقت به من دادید.
واقعا خیلی ممنون. منم واقعا مشتاق دیدار شما و خیلی خوشحالم که به هم رسیدیم اینجا و همدیگر رو تونستیم ببینیم. ممنون از پیامتون و فعالیتاتون در دفاع از سهیل و دیگر زندانیان سیاسی. خیلی ممنون و به امید دیدار به زودی بعد از این کرونا ویروس. Thank you very much. Thank you for that wonderful message. Now I think we have more people in the studio. I think Halima Salat, who's a poet and ex-Muslim Voices of Somalia, she's here with us. Welcome, Halima, good to see you. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied with this live program. I thought Waleed was going to do this, and I was feeling really confident that he was going to make it brilliant, and I'm really sorry if I'm messing things up. Welcome, Halima. I think your mic is muted, Halima. Your mic is muted.
Yes. Hi, Mariam. Thank you for having me. It's very nice to be here. I just want to begin at least by sending some sort of a direct message to Soheil Arabi. He's an icon. A lot of us are aware of his bravery. To say that it's a message of solidarity, just to say while the Sharia prison corridors of the Iranian regime might be sucking the life out of those with free minds and who stand in bravery, while your body may be suffering in pain of what they're doing to you, I celebrate your free mind for what it is and remaining intact as it is. And because of that, I wrote a poem. It doesn't have a name, but it goes like this. The theater of the absurd in rhythmically choreographed rituals of bending and bowing and scratching heads on the floor, forcing religious crazy-making down the throats of freethinkers, indoctrinating young minds to perpetuate a repetition of archaic nonsense, the aim being to repeat and repeat and repeat to the next generation the absurdities picked up from power-hungry conmen, self-serving in their ancient conquests, spreading fear and damnation to the nations of the time. The erasure of the female power by covering in black garb the sparkle of her soul. These a continuation of ancient patriarchal social order to erase the feminine shine as if it's yours to hide in these theatrics of the masculine god, immortalized in doctrines passed on via shady books full of shady myths, exchanged through generations of blind faith, the ultimate tool of mind control. Do not think, do not question, it is so, it was so, it has been so. So what? The clasps of religious absurdities are crumbling quickly these days in the minds of the freethinkers, the rebels, the dissenters, those of us who are living. These times of the here and now, the irrelevance of such nonsense brings to sharp focus the bullshit of ancient myth making, and thank fuck for that. And I'm going to read another one called Allah is Big in the Middle East. Allah is big in the Middle East. While in the minds of its free thinkers, his funeral celebration is well underway. Allah forgot about the Middle East, abandoned in his last to-do list, living only in the desperation of hearts ravaged by broken systems and inhumane authorities. The Allah men shoving and shuffling around their Almighty, sucking the blood, sweat, and muscle tension of the vulnerable, yet braver than brave dissenters. To give your life, for Allah needs to feel important. They loop and repeat. Allah abandons the East while sitting in the highest throne in a golden pedestal, rationing blessings as if he owns the place. Let's kill Allah in the East and everywhere. He has no use anyway. Planning Allah's funeral should be fun. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful poetry. As always, brilliant. Thank you, Halima Talat. So great to have you join us.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
How are you doing?
I'm very good. I'm very good. I just want to say, Halima, that was absolutely amazing. I remember watching you in Amsterdam, and that gave me chills. And it was like a sort of out-of-body experience, listening to your words and the way you say it. And just again now, you are super talented with words. And honestly, every time I listen to you, I feel like I've just transcended beyond this dimension. So love your work, honestly. Amazing. Oh, I think you're on mute. Oh, I think he's on.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really nice to see you guys. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Waleed, did you want to say a few words as well now that you're here?
Yeah, I've been hiding. No, I just want to say firstly, I think Mariam, you're doing an absolutely fantastic job. I think there's so many people that have come on, and yeah, can we give it up for Mariam, please, because this is the first time doing this, and I think she's doing an amazing job. Not to be underestimated. It's a lot of pressure being live. I've done it a couple of times, so I'm used to it. But I think we've had so many people that have come on and shared their experience from different angles. From different perspectives, and everyone in the comment section is super engaged, and everyone is participating. And I think, hopefully, I mean, I think someone else was mentioning it before that we were kind of close to raising the profile of Soheil Arabi, but then there was the Brexit thing in the UK. Then now it's the Corona thing. So unfortunately, it's like one thing after another. Something, things keep pushing it on the back burner. But regardless of what happens on these sort of things that are out of our control, we should keep the effort up, and we should continue to raise awareness, because when that opportunity comes, we will be ready. About Soheil's situation on an international level. So when the situation comes, we're ready to do what we have to do. So I think it's really, really important that we keep this going. And I think everyone's doing a fantastic job. So Mariam, you're doing a great job. Who would you like to have? We have Hamid. I think he's been waiting patiently. Would you like to have him on?
Yes, please.
Lovely. Hi, Hamid.
Hello, Hamid Jamali. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you from the Council of Ex-Muslims of Scandinavia. Am I right? Yes.
Yes, correctly. Thanks. Do you hear me?
Yes, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry for my bad picture, perhaps. I was at work and I didn't have a chance to listen to the rest of contributors, unfortunately. So I don't exactly know. I'm going to watch this video later on YouTube to find out what people have said so far. But I wanted to just share my opinion and my thoughts regarding Soheil. I believe he's doing a very, very big job, and he is like a general of this huge army of atheists. and he's face to face with the most evil government in the world, perhaps. And he's fighting barehandedly. And perhaps it's not easy to understand people who haven't lived in Iran. It's difficult for them to understand how risky it is to send out letters from a prison in Iran, to send out voice messages to the public inside a prison in Iran. And he is taking such a huge risk. And his mother also is taking a huge risk. It's like a two-man army fighting against the most heinous government. And they are doing this so bravely. And recently, for I don't know for how many times he has been on hunger strike, but he went on hunger strike again recently. And I believe he hoped for his action to make a huge noise in the world. Because I don't know, I think the hunger strike is the biggest step that a prisoner can take. I mean, it's his only weapon. His health and his life is his only weapon, and he's taking this huge risk. He's putting his body, his health in a huge risk, hoping for this to come out very, very loud in this world, in the world of atheists, people like us. So I think he expected a huge response from us, a huge support from us. Well, I know and I appreciate whatever has been done so far. We know that if it wasn't for his bravery, his mother's bravery, and all this international and huge number of support from all over the world, if it wasn't for these actions, perhaps the Islamic regime in Iran has succeeded to destroy him, to kill him. And I'm so happy that they haven't been able to do that to him. But I still and of course, yeah, we did a huge thing. We did last summer. We arranged a big protest around the globe, and I don't know, maybe 40 cities or something. And people gathered. We created a petition that has more than 100,000 signs on it. It's huge. I mean, maybe I haven't seen such a thing before, at least in atheist world and regarding atheist prisoners. So the campaign has been successful, but still I'm frustrated not seeing more people with us. I expect our voice and Soheil's voice to be heard more loudly, more clearly. I mean, as I said, he is such an important person in this fight. He is such an important, as I said, like a general of this army of Iranian atheists who are fighting against the Islamic government. And he deserves more attention. He deserves more support. So there are many atheists in the world who have louder voices, who have more equipment, more media in their hands. They have millions of, I don't know, followers, listeners, and I expect them to pay attention to this. I mean, maybe my voice isn't enough to reach the governments of the world, to the politicians of the world, and ask them to help us in this matter. But I know that there are much more famous atheists in the world, and I humbly expect them and ask them to pay attention to this case, to pay attention to Soheil Arabi's health and his situation. He has been in prison for more than 7 years. Every day his life is in danger. Every day, if the government could have killed him, they have definitely done it, but they couldn't have, fortunately. So yeah, that's my frustration that I wanted to share with you guys. And I see this incredible job that today's we are doing. And we have been doing this. As I said, last summer we did a huge job together with tons of ex-Muslim councils around the world and the Atheist Republic, whoever joined this campaign. And we are continuing to this fight, but I hope for more support. And I really wish that this Soheil Arabi's case comes to a wonderful conclusion, and this is could be a very, very, very important victory for not only Iranian atheists but atheists around the world. Just it's going to be a big defeat for one of the worst theocracies of the world, the biggest dictatorships of the world. So thank you, and I'm sorry that I spoke too much.
Thank you so much. That was really, really good. I think you've actually encapsulated it really well when you said that he's fighting barehanded against one of the most tyrannical regimes in the world. And if they wanted him dead, I mean, he would have been dead. But his own mental strength and physical strength to put his body through a hunger strike, his mother is fighting as well. I mean, these are the things that we kind of overlook. I mean, to a guy, but he's just a lone man in a cage, and he himself doesn't know what's going to happen the next day and the day after. So it takes huge courage and mental strength to continue what he's doing. I mean, he could have easily thrown in the towel. None of us would have said, oh, he's weak, but he's a true hero on so many different levels. So thank you so much for your eloquent words. Thank you so much, Hamid.
Thank you too.
Yeah, thank you. And I think one of the important
up next,
one of the important things that Hamid mentioned is the fact that he was on death row initially. He was sentenced to death initially, and it was then changed to 7+ years, and after that he got an additional 3 years. So this sort of activism and highlighting these cases does work. And it's important. It does save lives, and I think that is very important. And now, given his situation, the fact that he needs urgent medical care, he's on hunger strike, and that they keep taking him for additional interrogations because he's speaking out, putting him under more pressure, that it's important that we keep the pressure on.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. We have, I believe, Iman in the studio. Put him on.
Welcome. We have Iman Soleimani Amiri. He's a lawyer and a critic of Islam, and it's really good to have you here with us, Iman, to defend Soheil Arabi and to speak about this case and the work that you're doing on behalf of blasphemers and apostates as well. You have the floor. Thank you.
درود بر شما خانم نمازی عزیز و عرض ارادت خدمت همه بینندگان و دستاندرکاران این برنامه. من قصد ندارم بیش از حد مزاحم شما باشم، فقط عرض کنم طبیعتا این حق اولیه هر انسانی است که زمانی که میاندیشه بتواند اون اندیشه خود رو به زبان جاری بکنه و هر ایده و تفکری رو مورد نقد و بررسی قرار بده. متاسفانه این اولیه ترین حقوق انسانی توسط رژیم های دینی، علل خصوص رژیم تمامیت خواه و واپسگرای جمهوری اسلامی که اندیشه های دین اسلام رو ترویج میکنه، زیر سوال میره و منتقدین این دین، کسانی که در حوزه های مختلف اهم از حقوق انسان ها، اهم از مسائل اسلام سیاسی و دیگر مسائل سعی میکنن فعالیت بکنن، توسط این رژیم بازداشت میشن و متاسفانه از حقوق اولیه یک زندانی هم برخوردار نیستن، چرا که از زبان و قلم اونها همیشه احساس خطر شده. لذا وظیفه ما هست که به عنوان انسانهایی که اعتقاد داریم به مبانی حقوق بشر، به آزادی بیان و عقیده، در کنار این عزیزان بیستیم و اگر صدایی هم داریم بتوانیم از طریق ایجاد کمپین هایی که شما بزرگواران زحمتش رو میکشید و دوستان دیگر به مراجع
به نوعی حقوق بشری یا دولت‌ها انتقال بدیم که بتوانند این حق اولیه انسان‌ها رو حداقل در مناسبات بین‌المللی خودشون رعایت بکنن و ما شاهد چنین فجایعی در درون زندان‌ها نباشیم که انسانی در قرن 21 به خاطر آزادی بیان و عقیده‌اش که در ماده 18 اعلامیه جهانی حقوق بشر هم بدان تصریح شده و فارغ از بحث اعلامیه به عنوان حق اساسی هر انسانی هست در زندان باشه و زیر فشار و شکنجه‌های جسمانی و روانی برای خودش و خانواده‌اش.
ممنون ایمان عزیز، واقعا خسته نباشین از فعالیت‌های خودتون و اینکه اومدین اینجا و از این کمپین حمایت کردین. واقعا خسته نباشین. مرسی که با ما بودید.
انجام وظیفه بود خانم نمازی بزرگوار. امیدوارم من به عنوان یک عضو کوچک از نهاد اکس مسلم هم بتوانیم راه شما بزرگواران رو با الگو برداری که انجام میدیم ادامه بدیم و حقوق انسان‌ها در اولویت اول ما قرار بدیم.
خیلی ممنون، ولی فکر نکنم بزرگوارم، ولی خب مرسی، خسته نباشین. مرسی. So who do we have next?
We have either Jimmy or we have Shabnam, I think.
Okay, great. Can I just do read a quick message that we have from, I had read some messages from various people who sent solidarity messages to Soheil Arabi, including Robin Blumner from the Center for Inquiry and the Richard Dawkins Foundation for Reason and Science, Southpole Black Sisters, Pragna Patel. We had Dia Khan, who's a filmmaker, Nazanin Afshin-Jam, who's a human rights activist, Mariama Hele-Lucas, who's from Secularism as a Women's Issue. I've read out their statements. There's also a statement from Geeta Sohgal. She's the founder of Secularism, the Center for Secular Space, and also a spokesperson for One Law for All. She sent in a picture of Rosemary for remembrance, and she said, for atheists and all political prisoners in Iran, Soheil, we remember you, we call for your freedom, we stand with you and the people of Iran protesting against a cruel government which has put their lives at risk. We look forward to the day that you are free. That was from Geeta Sohgal.
Absolutely. So who is up next? We can have Shabnam. I believe she's been waiting patiently. Hi. Sorry, we can't hear you.
Shabnam جان مثل که میکروفونتون میوته.
No, there's no sound coming in.
متاسفانه صدا نمیاد از میکروفونتون. میخواین دوباره برین بیرون و برگردین؟ Should she go in and come out again?
Yeah. She leaves and enters again. In the meantime, we've got Jimmy. If you want, we can have Jimmy. Jimmy Bangash.
We've got Jimmy
He's ready.
He's with the Council of Ex-Muslims of Britain. Welcome, Jimmy.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Excellent. So it just seems that you couldn't hear people beforehand. Miriam, this is the first time I've seen you speaking in Iranian. Is that you were speaking in? What language was that?
Farsi.
Farsi. Okay, cool. I speak Pashto. It sounds a little bit similar. So, yeah. Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for inviting me on.
Pleasure.
What I wanted to say, or just spend a bit of time talking about, is the importance of sexual minorities in terms of enunciating and coming forth and speaking out against blasphemy laws. And so I think sometimes what we can find is actually it seems that if you're somebody who's a sexual minority who is gay and you might actually be Muslim, you think that the battle around blasphemy laws has nothing to do with you because you're actually Muslim, and so you wouldn't be blaspheming about Islam anyway. So there's no need for you to stand up in support of the abolition of blasphemy laws because it's not going to impact you in one way or another. And I think, when we think about, is the sound okay? I'm getting a lot of echo on my side. It's okay for you guys? Okay. So I think when we think about human rights, it's important not to think about human rights as only impacting us as individuals. We have to think about human rights impacting all of humanity and campaign for rights that are not necessarily rights that impact us immediately as individuals. So first of all, I think it's important to look at how Islam does treat sexual minorities anyway. So if you're a gay person, Fidu, could you go on to mute? It's your feedback that I can hear in my ears. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's great. I can hear nothing now. So as I was saying, I think it's important to think about how Islam or the Islamist narrative does treat sexual minorities anyway. So you might feel that you're Muslim and actually that blasphemy law doesn't apply to you because you're Muslim anyway. But we know that actually if you're gay, for example, and you are Muslim, often just the fact that you are gay is seen as blasphemous or anathema to Islam anyway. Yeah. So I think sometimes we can think we can hide in the shadows as a gay Muslim and actually not be impacted by blasphemy laws. But it's important to understand that often there's a forced apostasy for gay people. People are frequently saying, even in the 21st century, you cannot be gay and Muslim. You have to pick one or the other. And if you're going to pick being gay, well, then you're not pick being Muslim. So you are by default then an apostate. And therefore you are subjected to all of the rules that an apostate would be subjected to. Or conversely, if you try and have the audacity to say, well, actually, no, I am Muslim and I am gay, and it's possible for me to be a gay Muslim and celebrate being a gay Muslim, well, then that is seen as blasphemy, because what you're trying to do is take something that historically has always been deemed as a sin within Islam, and one of the major sins, in terms of sodomy, and then what it's seen is what you're trying to do is now revise the religion or do bid'ah, bring in some new innovative technique to try and legitimize your sin, which is homosexuality, and making it be okay. And we know that these Islamist regimes are not okay with that. So I think the illusion, and that's what it is, that if you're a gay Muslim or somebody who's a sexual minority who identifies as Muslim, that you are safe from these very same laws that persecute blasphemers and apostates, it's important to understand that it's completely an illusion and it's not true. And that's my first point. The second point is that even if it was true that you were not impacted by the Islamist narrative around apostasy and blasphemy, proceeding to only navigate and champion human rights that only further and benefit you is not a commitment to humanity. That's not a commitment to human rights at all. That's actually just a commitment to yourself. It is quite a self-centered way of being.
100%. I mean, that's a very good point. Often we can only look at the rights that affect us individually and think, oh well, as long as it doesn't affect me, I guess I'm fine. But the very same mechanism, the very same reasoning that has denied someone else can tomorrow deny you rights, and then you find yourself in the very same boat that someone else was in. So I think I think it's a very good point. We all have to be consistent across the board and say, well, for example, I'm not gay, I'm not Iranian, I'm not a sexual minority in this country or any other country, but I see the venomous reasoning behind someone being denied those rights, and tomorrow I could find myself in that very same camp. So I think that's a very very good point. And often I think Faye was saying this before, that when she mentions this point to some atheists from sort of non-Muslim backgrounds, they often say, well, he shouldn't have broken the law then. Why did he do that? Well, I mean, if we want to, I mean, we mentioned this before, me and you, Jimmy, that we often talk about, well, why did the women in this country break the law when they wanted to vote, or when they wanted to have the same rights as men? They should have just known better and stuck in their boxes. Why did they do that? Now, obviously, with hindsight, we can say what they did was right. So I think there are similar parallels to be said about Soheil Arabi and other people like him as well in those sort of theocratic countries.
It's a really good point, actually, that the struggle for human rights is a history of breaching legality. It actually, you could sum it as a history of illegality like people taking illegal action to win the human rights. So when we think about apartheid South Africa, there's a whole history there of breaching the laws that were set down for Black people. When we think about the civil rights movements for Black people in America, there's a whole history there of people breaching the social norms and the legal statuses that are there. And also the same thing for the LGBT movement. When we look at the struggle for gay human rights, there's this consistent breaching of what the law is. And we know that under Sharia, if actually two gay men are going to live and have a relationship together in the same way that a heterosexual couple can do so, well, then that's going to involve breaking the law in very many ways. And so this idea that somebody shouldn't have broken the law and therefore then they wouldn't have been persecuted, well, actually, if the law is infringing on somebody's human rights, and we have a charter that tells us what would be considered as a contravening those rights, well, then it's not justification to maintain the law. It's actually justification to adjust that law and maintain people's civil liberties.
100%. Jimmy, thank you so much. If you want to hang around or not, but I'll try and bring some other people into the conversation. So, Jimmy, thank you once again. That was a brilliantly put. Also, Jamal, I believe.
Yeah, this is right.
Hi, Jamal. How are you doing? You right?
Hi, Bedu. Fine, thank you. And hello, everyone. First of all, I want to thank you all guys for your efforts to make this very important online campaign happen in this coronavirus times. Do my voice coming clear?
Perfect.
Okay. We in the ex-Muslims of Norway are standing with Soheil Arabi and want to show him solidarity and want to help him. After this online campaign, I hope a lot of people will be aware of the situation of Soheil Arabi and the human rights abuses in the Islamic regime of Iran. I hope a lot of people will sign the petition and show solidarity with Soheil. And we call everyone to join the campaign for supporting Soheil, and we demand Iran to release Soheil from prison and repeal blasphemy laws now. Soheil Arabi is one of the thousands of the victims of Islamic intolerance, unjust and brutality we are witnessing today. All of the Islamic history is full with the intolerance and punishments against blasphemers and apostates until today. These have to be changed now. And that's why we all ex-Muslim activists are fighting to normalize acceptance of blasphemy and apostasy in Islam. Our struggle and campaign creating awareness about human rights abuses and crimes against people like Soheil. This is very important, and we have to continue with that. But most importantly, I think it is time for that, especially all Western countries, leaders, politicians, organizations, and journalists who advocates human rights have to be really honest and try to take real actions. They are talking too much, but doing no real actions against regimes like Iran, while people like Soheil suffering all these years in prison. I'm really sick of witnessing hypocrisy in the world. I have to say that. Either they have to stop acting like they are humanists, secular, and fighting for human rights, or they have to take action against any country which doing crimes against humanity. A lot of actions can be done to regimes like Iran. I think, first of all, those countries where blasphemy is punishable by death penalty have to be discriminated, totally isolated, and excluded from all international platforms and organizations. They have no places in unions, commissions, or any diplomatic relations until they give the freedom of speech, freedom of conscience, and basic human rights to their people. We need a better world for every human being. So we need people with courage and honesty. for to achieve this goal. Keep continuing with the good job that you are doing, guys. And I want to say thank you so much, and free Soheil Arabi.
Thank you, Jamal. That was very good to see you here. Jamal is the founder of the Ex-Muslims of Norway. And it is important that we as international groups of free thinkers, ex-Muslims, atheists, that we continue this fight for Soheil Arabi and others like him. Thank you, Jamal.
Thank you, Mariam. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We have Shabnam next, I believe, because she her voice was not showing last time, so we can have Shabnam back. Let's see if she's in action.
Hello, can you
Hi,
hear
Shabnam.
me? Hi.
Hi.
Great, it's working now. Welcome, Shabnam.
Thank you. Can I speak Farsi or just English?
Just speak in any language you feel comfortable. You can do Farsi or English.
پس من یه فارسی میگم اگه اشکالی نداره. در مورد سهیل که خب من خودم دارم یا دوستانم داریم، مثلا یه سرشون از ایران هستن، داریم تلاش میکنیم که صداهاشو کلیپ کنیم که توی هر جایی به گوش مردم برسونیم. فقط یه نکته ای رو میخواستم بگم که مسلما جونش در خطره به خاطر جریان، اگه یادمون بیاد، علیرضا شیرمحمدی که دوست خود سهیل بود و ناجوان مردانه توی زندان کشته شد. این نکته رو باید خیلی در نظر بگیریم که جونش واقعا در خطره و رژیم جمهوری اسلامی اگه میتونست این کارم با سهیل میکرد. هنوزم مشخص نیست که خدای نکرده این کارو میکنه یا نه. فقط این که اینو در نظر بگیریم که جون این بچه‌ها هر کدومشون در خطره. الان هم که تو اعتصاب غذا هست و فکر میکنم باید خیلی منظمتر و بیشتر صدامون رو به دنیا برسونیم. حالا هر جوری که میتونیم، به هر زمانی کمپین بذاریم و به هر جایی ایمیل بدیم، نامه بنویسیم برای سهیل بیشتر و بیشتر، چون واقعا الان جونش در خطره و اگه یه اتفاقی برای سهیل بیفته دیگه فکر میکنم اونا به خودشون اجازه میدن که این اتفاق و این بلا رو سر هر کدوم از زندانی ها بیارن. چون ما الان خیلی تعداد حدود خیلی زیادی تو زندان داریم. فقط یکی از دوستای من که تازه از زندان تهران بزرگ آزاد شده فقط حدود 35 نفر اسم داد که اینا فقط از اعتراضات آبان الان بازداشت شدن. ولی من فکر میکنم که اگه رو کمپین سهیل کار کنیم خیلی کار بزرگیه. صدای حداقل همه رو میرسونیم به دنیا. و اینکه خب الان به خاطر اعتصاب غذاش هم چون خونریزی معده کرده فکر میکنم واقعا جونش در خطره.
خیلی ممنون شبنم عزیز برای پیامتون و اطلاعاتی که دادین. ممنون و خسته نباشین. مرسی.
خواهش میکنم. مرسی، متشکرم. ممنون از
Shabnam was just talking about how crucial his situation is, that he could get killed any moment in prison because one of his friends was killed in prison as well, and that in addition he has very serious health problems because both of the torture as well as his own hunger strikes, and so it's important to keep the pressure on and ensure that he's released.
Absolutely.
Our next guest
is we've got Zara with us. Zara K.
Great.
Hi, Zara. Can you hear us?
Welcome.
Hi. Thanks.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. How's everyone going? How has the previous guests been?
Everyone's been fantastic.
It's been great. Yes. Zara K is the founder of Faithless Hijabi. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you so much. Thanks for organizing this. And I'm really glad that we're taking a few hours of our time and actually protesting for free speech and for Soheil in specific.
Absolutely. I think it's a great initiative started by Mariam and the many other ex-Muslims that she's been working with. What are your thoughts on the current situation of Soheil? And I mean, I know you've had your own journey and you've documented that with your own situation from Tanzania, Australia. But what are your thoughts currently now on Soheil's unfortunate situation?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, when I first left, it was not like I didn't even know that blasphemy was a crime. I remember, like, when I was really young, I was told it was punishable by death, and that was the only time, like, even at a young age, I was like, but that doesn't make any sense that somebody should be killed for saying they don't believe or anything that was against other people's beliefs. I thought it was a very harsh punishment, and having it done to so many people, and specifically in Soheil's case, I feel like the punishment is obviously one, quite harsh, but two, just being given Islamic education to I guess force submission is, I think in my case, quite authoritarian, but also like ridiculous in a way. Especially the force of Islamic re-education. It's like, you know, when they say it's a religion of peace, I think that has not been demonstrated in that specific way anyway. But yeah, no, I think it's such a sad situation, and it's mostly used to also threaten and control other people around it. Like not only in Iran, but also other people outside of Iran, to instill fear into submission and repress free speech, let alone free thought.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point you mentioned, because people often look at these countries in isolation, but when one country ramps up their tyranny, it also gives an excuse for other countries around to say, well, actually, look, we need to do this because, you know, this is a problem. I mean, I know Mariam's mentioned that, you know, in some Arab countries, they view atheism as some sort of terrorism or some sort of mental disease. When something happens in Iran, when they become more radical, than Pakistan, their neighbor radical. So it's almost infectious, and these things spread. So if we target it in Iran or in one country, hopefully that will send a message to other countries or the citizens of other countries that these kind of things are not tolerable in the 21st century, and that the zeitgeist has changed, it's moved on, and that these Muslim countries also need to move on as well and look at their citizens differently and look at human rights differently. And right now in countries like Iran or Pakistan or Egypt or Saudi, human rights is seen as, you know, a luxury, a privilege that only some people in the world can afford. But of course, the very definition of human rights is that every single human being is born with these things, and it's a non-negotiable thing, non-negotiable.
Especially for large Islamic countries as well, it's separated from other countries that we've protested against, and like for instance Brunei and the LGBT laws. We could protest, and there were celebrities joining in against it, but I don't feel like enough action has been taken with countries like Iran and Saudi Arabia to challenge their laws. And it's been years. We're in the 21st century. We're not even like in the 1900s or 1700s, where there are still archaic practices. I feel like this law has been gone unchallenged, and a lot of people have excused it for the mere reason being it's part of their culture and it's part of their religion, or that people should have known better. If speech is what causes people's death, then I think we live in very dangerous territories. Especially when people are bloggers and they're not even going out in public to protest or to say anything about it. But many people who express their thought is on the internet. It's funny how it's also biased towards protecting religions versus religious freedom to not be religious. I feel like online a lot of the time, there are people who have been quite crude to many of us who've been critics of Islam, and they get a free pass, while others like us and Soheil Arabi, we've been punished or will get banned, or we're now perpetrators of the law.
Absolutely. Mariam, do you have any other comments to make on this?
No, thank you, Zara. I mean, it's really important that we've brought all these people together. People have taken time off, as you said, to highlight this case. It's really, really important to defend Soheil Arabi because of course, because of his courage and his bravery, but also because people should not be imprisoned because of thought, because of opinion, because of expressing their opinions. There's no crime that's been committed. The actual criminals are those in power in Islamic states, those who are imposing blasphemy laws, apostasy laws, and denying people the very right to speak and think as they choose. And I think, in fact, the heroes of our worlds are people like Soheil Arabi, who are standing up and speaking out, even though they're in such difficult circumstances.
Definitely. I think it definitely represents something bigger than Soheil himself as well. It represents how much the repression of free speech, but also like how it's trying to manipulate people into submission. So yeah, no, definitely. I feel like the government has taken a very unfair stance on this. But it's also, like I said, one that is being unchallenged until people like yourself, Mariam, organizing this, and other people around the world standing up against them. And still, I feel like Iran has a long way to go in terms of getting their policy changed. But it doesn't, I definitely think these movements are great because it needs to continue and it won't finish after Soheil. Soheil is what will be the beginning of such movements to protest against authoritarian regimes.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you so much. We have a few more people in the studio, I think. We have Payman Karasovi.
I don't know if he's on right now, but we have Rock and Roll Sailor, I think.
Oh, okay. Brilliant. Rock and Roll Sailor is a poet who is joining us now. Welcome, and thank you for joining our protest.
Oh, sorry, you're on mute. I think you're on mute. Sorry.
Yes? You can hear me now? Okay. Thank you for letting me join your action. It's very needed. As a person growing up in the Western world, I'm very fortunate that I haven't had to go through what people in the Middle East go through. On the other hand, I see very clearly around me in this culture that the roots are still in a patronizing cult.
Right, Patrick, you're on mute.
No, I'm not on mute.
Yeah.
Oh, you muted me. I was muted before. You get a delay of 2 minutes, sweetheart. Thank you. I will resume. I notice a lot of the similarities in the patronizing cult, since these cultures are also based on a one God reality, which is no reality at all. So I would like to contribute a poem of mine. It's a poem for freedom called Facts of Life. Reality needs no submission. There are over 3,000 gods being worshipped on this planet, yet none of them are real. There are over 10,000 names for the absolute life power and how small it makes one feel. And one of them is freedom. So claiming to know yours and to speak in his name, thinking you have any right to decree, is more than a dangerous delusion within your very own system. It's inherent blasphemy. For words paint pictures beyond the touch of a brush, sandstone carvings in the face of time that don't make insane desert dreamings rhyme, while you defamate the life divine that in this earthly paradise is a given in every breath and bread you may receive. So, when freedom sings with every bird, who are you to claim any life song should remain unheard? As blinded by your impotence, you lock up bodies and throw stones. Life's ultimate power will just mock you more, while only yourself you do deceive. And the pain you spread, you will receive. For freedom is a state of mind, the only state that needs no passport. It's the free that defiantly know life's justice holds no court. So, as you blind yourself from the reality of life that proves you to be the insult you so vainly fear, know that blossoming eyes are watching and the dawn is always near. No matter how many veils you throw over the sun, no matter how hard you try to shroud the moon, while you try to snuff out candles, the coffin of your ignorance will grow itself as many handles. As the stars shine on in utterly gracious disregard of midnight or noon, and the long grass waving in the wind like hair, does eventually old deserted ruins overgrow. The ruin that is yours alone, you, the one that claims to know. While birds ever sing on their own accord, be they caged or free, and even the worn out only sleep for dreaming, life's open eyes as ever see. Beating hearts dance forever, without and beyond meaning, worshipping the precious joy of simple being. Thank you.
Bro, that was truly, truly amazing. I mean, there's so many lines in it that I could pick out and we can talk about. But the one that hit me the hardest was was it freedom is the only state which requires no passport?
Indeed.
That is, I mean, I would love to ask your inspiration about where you get these lines and ideas from, because it's like, I don't know how to think like this. So, you know, for someone who has that vision, you know, it really is amazing.
Well, thanks for that. And perhaps we can engage in later private conversation as to how my mindset comes about.
100%. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Really appreciate
you. It was brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm not sure if do we have other guests, Walid, in the room?
We have Armin Inayati.
Okay, Armin Inayati. Great. Welcome, Armin.
سلام عرض میکنم به همه شما دوستان آتئیست. حقیقتا در مورد مسئله‌ای که برای سهیل عربی پیش اومده بود، یه مسئله واقعا مهمه. جون سهیل در خطره و همه با هم دیگه دست در دست هم دیگه واقعا تلاش بکنن و با تشکیل کمپین ها و حتی اعتراض هایی که حالا اکسیون هایی که برگزار میکنن، باید صدای خودش رو، صدای سهیل رو، مخصوصا صدای سهیل رو به صدای گوش جهانیان برسونن و باعث بشن اون تفکر خونخوار اسلام از این بیشتر آسیبی به سهیل وارد نکنه. نه تنها به تمام آتئیست هایی که در داخل ایران دارن زندگی میکنن. سهیل در بنده و شاید در یک مکان سربسته است، اما ما کلی آتئیست داریم داخل ایران که توی پوست خودشون، توی کالبد خودشون زندانی هم و نمیتونن صحبت بکنن و نمیتونن جایی برای افکار خودشون پیدا بکنن. واقعا از بچهای آتئیست میخوام که تا جایی که میتونن بر علیه این تفکر پلید اسلام واقعا فعالیت بکنن و سعی بکنن سهیل رو از بند نجات بدن. نه تنها سهیل بلکه کلیه آتئیست هایی که در بند اسلامن و در بند ظلم مسلمانانن. خیلی ممنونم که این وقت رو به من دادید. متشکرم.
خیلی ممنون آرمین عزیز برای پیامتون. واقعا دستتون در نکنه. مرسی. We have some comments, lots of comments in the live comment section. which I'd like to address a few of them if possible. But before that, I was wondering, Walid, maybe we can have Shaheen back as well, Shaheen Mohammadi, since we haven't heard from him for a while.
Yeah, actually, I was listening to you guys, and it's great. I'm really happy that we did this, and with all the people that we are here, we did this, and this is a great job. And I have some connections who told to Soheil that we are going to have this, and right now he knows about this live, and he knows about the protest, and it's really great. And we also have other political prisoners who right now are in jail, but they just come out for a couple of days and they have to go back again, and they are watching our live, but they can't talk, but they can't talk on our live, but they're here and they support us. And I just wanted to talk about the petition that we have started. Actually, we have started 2 petitions. One of them, we have started one of them in 1 year ago, about the previous time that Soheil was on hunger strike, about more than, I believe, more than 30 days. And the other one, we have started it about a week ago, and about a week ago with ex-Muslims of Scandinavia. And I believe we can sign them to support Soheil, and we can share them and to tell. And when we talk about Soheil to our friends and the people around us, his voice will be heard, because right now he has just not too much support, and we need to support him more. And I believe these kind of protests are great. We can have them more, and we can do it more, and talk about other political prisoners also, like Soheil, that they're in jail and their voice can't be heard. I have nothing else to talk about. I want to just thank you, Mariam, thank you, Walid, for everything. And I want to thank a lot from the people from our friends who have been in and talked, and all our friends who have been in YouTube, and they like Soheil Salem, like Hamid Rostami, like Charles, and like all of them that they have been with us. And it's great that they support each other, and we support Soheil actually. So I just wanna say bye, and I'm waiting here down for Mariam and Walid.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time also.
Thank you. Can I just go over a few things as well, just to make sure that we've mentioned everyone. We had videos from Peter Tatchell, the human rights campaigner, Rahila Gupta, the writer and activist. We also had some videos, messages from Halal Taheri from the Middle Eastern Women and Society Organization, Zinab El Razoui, who's a former journalist of Charlie Hebdo. We had a video from Nada Perat Radfrau from the Civil Courage in Croatia Center. We also had photos from Muslimish, Free Thought Lebanon, Rana Ahmad of Atheist Refugee Relief. Unfortunately, we weren't able to show those all, but we will make sure that they're available online as well as the various messages that we've already read out to you.
We also have I think, oh, he's gone now. We had Payman, but I'm not sure he's here anymore.
Okay. Can I just use this opportunity now to speak on what's for the funds that we've received? And thank you for all being here with us. Some people are saying that we should be out in the street. We shouldn't be here on the internet. But I want to remind everyone that this is that many of us are in lockdown now as a result of coronavirus. So it's impossible to be out in the streets. But that doesn't mean. Sorry, I think there's a lot of feedback from your mic, Walid. Sorry. That doesn't mean that we should just stay in our homes and not speak. On the issue of social media too, I think it's important to remember that Soheil Arabi is in prison for something that he did on social media, which was on Facebook. He wrote a post on Facebook social media has been an important vehicle for people to connect to each other, to say things that are disallowed in many of the authoritarian societies that they live in. And so social media is part and parcel of people's activism. You know, from the Arab Spring, there was talk of it being a Twitter revolution, to the very fact that a lot of authoritarian regimes, like the Iranian regime, the Saudi regime, and other Islamic states, all try to censor the internet because of its importance in mobilizing support, in raising awareness and highlighting awareness. So I don't quite see the point of people saying that we shouldn't be doing this. Well, you're free to do other things as well, but don't stop people from being active in any way that they can. Social media is also an important form of activism. I really think that we should keep putting the pressure on. We shouldn't stop. As many of our speakers have mentioned, it's not just Soheil Arabi. There are so many political prisoners in Iran. There are so many free thinkers, blasphemers, apostates in countries across the world, many of them in Islamic states, whether it's Raif Badawi in Saudi Arabia, whether it is Niaz Azami in Pakistan. There are so many free thinkers in various countries that need our support. And Soheil, he symbolizes many cases of, you know, this demand to think as we want, to live as we want, without religion's intervention in our lives. And I think that by defending Soheil Arabi, we defend all blasphemers, all apostates, all free thinkers in the world, and we have to keep doing that. It is our responsibility. If Soheil can be in prison today and write open letters, despite the fact that he may be killed for it, and signing his letters as an atheist, I think the least we can do is, whether on the streets, on social media, to keep highlighting and raising his voice and the voice of many others. It is our responsibility. We have a duty to do it. And I think, you know, this, the first ever, as far as I know, live protest online was, I think, in my opinion, a really great success. We brought so many people together. So many people sent their messages. And there were so many more that we just couldn't play because you know, we weren't able to play a lot of the videos that we got, show a lot of the pictures that we've received. So hopefully, Walid, we can do that in the near future. So I do want to thank everyone who's here, and to say, keep fighting. Don't listen to anyone who says, oh, this is, you know, signing a petition is useless. Well, Soheil Arabi was on death row, and he isn't anymore. There are lots, if anyone is an activist, and many of us here are, we know how many people have been saved because of these so-called useless petitions and these useless protests. Nothing is useless. I think it shows our humanity, it shows our solidarity, it links us with people across the world, and it's important to do it. And social media is one way of doing it, and we have to carry on doing that, and we have to continue, keep on, don't ever stop, and don't let anyone tell you that what you're doing is useless, because it's not. So thank you so much for being here. I think it's just been so important for me as well to be part of this, even though I failed so miserably. As you can see from the few times that Walid shared the whole thing, it was so bloody interesting and brilliant.
No. I think, Mariam, you are not giving yourself enough credit. You are much better than you think you are. You are a natural at this, and honestly, I was just trying to make sure that, you know, we could play the videos, or that everyone in the all the guests coming up, that they were ready to go ahead. But I think you've done a fantastic job, and you deserve a massive virtual round of applause by everyone. So you did a fantastic job, and also I think everyone that also watched and contributed, the different speakers. I know we're speaking. There are people all over the world who joined in you know, in English and in Farsi. I think it's absolutely amazing that we have people speaking in Farsi as well, because a lot of the time we speak in English to people that already kind of agree with us or kind of already know. But I think it's also important. I think the next phase of this whole movement is to speak in the language of the people. So Farsi, Arabic, Urdu, Hindi, you know, Bengali as well. When we speak in these languages and Muslims from those countries hear what we have to say, that will have even a bigger impact, because it's one thing to get people like me and you excited, but it's another thing to get people in those countries excited and stimulate and actually make them realize, Muslim or not, that there are injustices happening in their country and the whole world is watching. Sometimes people don't realize is that other people around the world are watching what's happening in Iran and in Saudi and Egypt and Pakistan, and we expect more from them as fellow human beings. So I think you did a fantastic job. I would love to do this again with more people. I think we could really start something, and just want to say thank you once again. Thank you for having me on for the very little time that I was on. Thank you so much. You are the main attraction, so I think people really love to see you on, and hopefully we can do this again.
Thank you, Walid, for your your generosity always in helping set this up, helping us do this, and also bringing your expertise, and of course Shaheen Mohammadi, who co-organized this with the two of us. We still have people in the chat room, and we still have another 9 minutes or so. So if people on who are watching us live don't mind, we'll just carry on until our 3 hours is up. We have someone in the studio right now. It is Peyman Partovi. So please feel free to join us, Peyman, if you are here. Welcome.
Peyman?
Hello.
Hi, you are on the screen. Could you I can hear myself in your audio.
Yeah, 1 minute, I think.
Okay, no worries.
Do you have my voice? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Mariam. Hi, Walid and Shaheen. I want to speak with Farsi language and درود عرض میکنم خدمت شما و همه دوستان در مورد سهیل عربی. من هم وظیفه خودم میدونم به عنوان یک آتئیست، به عنوان یک فعال سیاسی و فعال آتئیستی حمایت خودم از سهیل عربی اعلام کنم. ما توی توییتر هم یه برنامه طوفان توییتری تدارک دیدیم، به زودی خبررسانی میکنیم چه تاریخی طوفان توییتری میخوایم راه اندازی کنیم که ترند بشه و امیدواریم که یه کار خوب و مثبت بتونیم برای سهیل عربی و بقیه زندانیای عقیدتی و سیاسی انجام بدیم. سپاسگزارم از شما.
خیلی ممنون پیمان عزیز.
قربان شما.
Peyman spoke about Peyman spoke about continuing this by having a Twitter storm as well on this case, and hopefully he'll send us information on that and we can all join in. There's also a message from Mina Ahadi that I can try to read if I find my reading glasses, which is really sad. Oh, here. Okay. So Amina Ahadi, who is the founder of the Council of Ex-Muslims of Germany, she's written message من این است: وضع سهیل عربی در زندان در خطر است و حکومت اسلامی قصد کشتن سهیل را دارد، چون سهیل کوتاه نیامده و در زندان هم از ایده‌های خود و حقوق انسانی دفاع می‌کند. باید همه دست به دست هم داده و به یاری سهیل بشتابیم. اعتراضات متحدانه و بین‌المللی همیشه موثر بوده. باید کاری کنیم حکومت فوراً سهیل را آزاد کند، جان سهیل در خطر است. So this was a message from Mina Ahadi saying that his life is in serious danger. The regime wants to kill him, and that we really have to put our hands together and save his life by working in a united and an international way. And that it's effective. It has been effective in the past, and hopefully it will continue to have a positive effect in Soheil's life.
Yeah, absolutely. Were there any comments you wanted to address? I know we have a lot of people in the comment section. Any questions from you guys that you wanted to address, or anything that thought you was interesting? We've got, we have a message here saying, thanks Vidu and Mariam for hosting this and raising awareness. Now it's our turn to spread the message and hasten for the day for Soheil's freedom. Absolutely. I mean, this is what I hope we can take from this live stream, is that which however you can contribute in your own way, please do so. Even if it's tweeting or sharing a video or talking to someone who you think is like-minded, if everyone could do their own bit, accumulatively, it would make a big difference. And never despair, never think, oh, this is just all pointless and all the rest of it. If you think like that, it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you're right, nothing will happen. So we have to keep positive and keep doing whatever we can in our own capacity.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to also highlight, now that we have a few more minutes, is this issue about, this idea that, the people of Iran, it's important to respect their beliefs. And this is something we often hear when there's criticism of those who've committed blasphemy. Well, they should have respected the people's religion and culture. And I suppose the point that's important to make here is that Soheil Arabi is also part of the people. I am also part of the people, as we all are. And as we know, no society has one way of thinking. There are so many different ways of thinking and beliefs in any given society. And if you look at countries under Islamic rule in particular, there is a huge battle taking place in those countries against authoritarian religious dictatorships. And so I suppose when we side with people like Soheil Arabi, we side with that segment of the population that is fighting for freedom and for free expression and freedom of thought and opinion, And I think the idea that people hide behind people's culture and religion in order to victimize once again blasphemers and apostates rather than siding with those who they should be on their side is really a cop-out, because as we know, in Britain, for example, there's a huge debate over Brexit. There's no one way of looking at the issue, and it's the same in other countries, and even more so because people are living in theocracies where their every aspect of their lives is under control and under threat. And so anything they do, from unveiling, we had Shaparak here who was in jail because she didn't want to comply with compulsory veiling rules, to Behnam, who was an activist for children's rights and labor rights. Anything you do for a decent life becomes political, becomes a challenge to the theocratic state. And so, it is important to see that there are differences of opinion. What's important is, which side are we on? I think that's the question everybody has to ask themselves. Yes, of course, there'll be people who support the regime, but there are a vast majority, in my opinion, who don't support the regime. And we see that in reality by the protests in the streets, by the numbers of people who are in prison, who are being tortured, who are on death row, and also the fact that the Islamic states themselves see atheism and free thought as such a crime, and because they see it as such a threat. For example, the Saudi government, as another speaker had mentioned, equates atheism with terrorism. The Iranian government has talked about the tsunami of atheism in Iran and the need to withstand it. The Egyptian Ministry of Education has set up a project to eliminate atheism from Egypt. So what I want to say is that because they themselves see this trend, they wouldn't need apostasy and blasphemy laws if everybody agreed with them. And I think for us, we need to say, okay, there might be people who support an Islamic regime. We support secular states. We support free thought. We support free expression. And we're going to stand with those who are risking their lives to defend those principles, not just here in the West, but everywhere.
I think that's perfectly said. Literally, I think you've hit every single point, and very, very beautifully said, Mariam. Honestly, very inspiring. This is why you are Mariam Namazi. This is why you are Mariam Namazi.
Thank you so much, honestly, Walid, for your help and your support. We wouldn't have been able to do this. We're completely clueless when we came to Walid with the idea that we want to have an online protest, and he's the one who told us what to do and how to do it and set it all up for us. So thank you, Walid. Thank you, Shaheen Mohammadi, for co-organizing this with us. And thank you, all of you, for all the work you've been doing. All of you who are here, who stayed with us, who joined in, who spoke, who supported Soheil. This is of course, not the first protest, and it's not going to be the last. We're going to keep on until he's free and until there is no more blasphemy and apostasy laws in any country. You know, it's a dream maybe, but many changes across the world start with dreams and then they become realities. So love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's been a pleasure hosting, and like you said, we'll do this again in the future, and we'll keep you up to date with everything. So, guys, do what you can. Like this video, share this video, get it out to on your social media. And guys, thank you once again for tuning in and for everyone who was involved. Thank you. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
So what do we do?